This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right. That's a proper intro
Yeah.
that doesn't stumble and kick and buck and everything. You have such the fastest fade out. You don't even you don't milk.
Yeah, I
you
don't
don't
give a
milk it
shit.
at all.
Well,
bothers
it's
the shit
set.
out of
It's
me.
set like that. I mean, I guess I can have that one go slower. I thought you were doing it.
I was,
yeah.
and then
I just turned it off.
Doesn't matter. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah.
Logistics right off the bat.
Logistics on the air. Figuring out what to do with the show.
And on the show this week, we have a guest. We broke.
Heyo.
We
broke the streak.
Broke the streak. Yeah.
Has it just been you two?
Well, not really.
No, we had Adam, Adam number 2. Come on.
With the baby?
No, he didn't bring the baby.
Well, I mean, that's the
Yes,
Adam you're speaking
Brown Daddy
of.
Adam. Yes.
That's his new name.
Okay. I'm hoping it's because of his uniform.
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay.
Well, his we used to call him Adam number 2, and then his wife pointed out that's perfect because his uniform is brown.
That's okay.
Yeah. So now
that he's a
then it was
father.
Adam number 2, then Brown Adam, and now it's Brown Daddy Adam.
Okay. Well,
Because he's
Which is
daddy
really
now.
great when he comes
is.
to the restaurant and I put his name in the ticket, and then I hit print, and it prints out in the kitchen as the person sitting at the bar is named Brown Daddy Adam. No one's even asked about it
no
yet.
one's worried about it. That's
Yeah.
not the worst that people have seen in kitchens as far as nicknames for customers.
Mm.
I always get Beard Guy. It's not as much now because I don't go out as much, but I would imagine a lot of people have beards, so it's not as common. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
when
true.
when I used to go to Millhouse like twice a week, I'd see him ringing me up, and it'd go, "It's a Beard Guy." Yeah.
Oh shit! I don't know.
I'd rather not know.
Yeah, I don't want to know
I
what they
think I
write for
don't-
me.
Not when I went to bars. I don't want to know what they called me. I'll leave that alone.
Well, fans of the show will know Kathleen from
They sure will.
her appearance almost last year.
Almost 1 full year
I
ago.
would say it's more like 11 months ago.
I was here on New Year's
Day.
Day.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This year the show's on New Year's Eve, but I will be in sunny Florida.
Hmm.
So we got to figure out when we're doing that.
What a reaction. That's like what my grandma does when she's disapproving but is afraid to show it.
It's not that I'm disapproving. I'm just not a fan of Florida.
I don't
I'm
know
not a
if
fan of
anyone
Florida
is.
either.
I've tried to be a
I'm
fan.
I'm excited to go to Florida in the middle of winter because it's just going to be like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you are.
We
or
went in
who you're
July
with.
last time.
In
It
the
was
middle
terrible.
of winter.
Yeah.
That is terrible, yeah. But if you can be warm anywhere in like January, who cares?
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Where you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And we're
matter.
driving. So I'm going to bring
And
my
you don't
boosted
have to go
board.
to the beach.
That's terrible.
'Cause it's too fucking cold to go to the
Yeah.
beach. So
Yeah.
no one's going to have to force you to go to the beach.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Amy
have to
doesn't
beach.
Amy doesn't know, but I'm bringing my boosted board.
I'm sorry. Who gets forced?
Me. I
In this
fucking
room
hate the
to
beach.
go to the beach.
Adam has to
Hate
get
the beach.
You have to drag him kicking and
Yeah.
screaming. And even then, he'll go, but he'll stand
He'll
like
throw a fit the whole time.
He'll
He's like,
stand
No,
at
no, I
that-
don't.
he'll
I don't
stand at
throw
that
a fit the
wooden-
whole time.
He'll stand at that
Yeah.
wooden like landing right before the stairs that go to the beach and just like shake his head disapprovingly.
Just judging.
No, I just like I don't bitch the whole time, but I'm not going
Aw.
to pretend like I'm having a good time when I'm not.
Even
you
for
know.
the people that you're with, who like being at the beach, who
yeah,
care about you.
they can go to the beach without me.
Well, that's fair.
You know, I'm not asking them to do stuff they don't want to do.
Okay.
You know,
If that's true, then that's
yeah,
fair.
it's just like you want to go on a hunting trip with me, Kathleen.
Yes.
You do in exchange for me going to the beach with you.
I don't care if you go to the beach or not. I guess I'm just surprised that you don't like it.
Yeah, well, it's the sand and the heat. You
the
have to.
Sand, I'll give you that.
The sand is terrible.
How have we not come up with better solutions?
To what? Sand?
Oh, we have. It's called coastal erosion.
I don't.
Yeah, it's
know
climate
what that
change.
is. Oh,
it's
well,
great.
I know what that
yeah,
is.
it's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's coastal erosion. Then all the houses fall into the ocean, and then it's just a cliff. And then no one can go to the beach.
Kathleen wants to make all the beaches asphalt, just paved.
Well, you should actually be.
You would think that the solution wouldn't be a thin piece of cloth. Like a towel is the best we've come up with.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like there's no protective.
Or just a shoe. Like I've seriously gone to the beach in Doc Martens laced as tight as they will go, and they're still full of sand.
You're one of those guys. Yeah. That's actually worse because then when the sand is in, you can't.
Well, that's the thing.
Out.
Nowadays, like I wear my Vibrams, I just take them off.
Are those
the toe
hand
shoes? Yeah. Hand shoes, finger shoes,
the gloves.
So I wear those. I just take them off and just deal with it because there's nothing you could do about it. You just have to deal with it.
Nothing you can do. About
and then it's also like in order to go to a beach that's not disgusting, you have to like go very far. Mm-hmm. So most of the beaches that we went to Jersey. I'm not going in the water in New Jersey.
I don't blame
we
you.
tried to surf. I suck at it now, probably because I weigh 100 pounds more than I did the last time I surfed.
Mm-hmm.
And that I went in the ocean that one time. And I went in the ocean. When we went on the cruise because it was nice. It was calm. The water was like 76 degrees, and the sand wasn't disgusting and full of broken beer bottles and syringes.
That's
it's a plus.
Go to the ocean.
Yeah, when there's
that is like a lot of East Coast.
Yeah.
Beaches that you're describing, it's a shame, but you're right.
You're
not wrong.
Like our favorite, our favorite day probably was the day that we tried to snuba and we failed miserably.
What is snuba?
So it's scuba diving, except for you don't have the tank on your back; it's on a raft above you.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No.
So, but the problem is no one told me that they didn't just have goggles. That if I needed just goggles, I needed to bring them and have like a nose clamp, right? So they had
You didn't just have one?
No, they had over-the-nose goggles,
yeah.
right? So I have a beard. So as soon as I went underwater, my mask fills with water, so I couldn't even practice. And they're like, okay, let's go. And I told the story on the show, and I just sank like a rock because he put too many weights on me.
Why are there weights on you?
You have to wear weights, otherwise you just float at the top.
Yeah, you just float up.
Yeah. All of this is fine, but I wasn't able to.
Sounds like the beginning of.
But it was like we paid $150 to take a shuttle to a nice beach, which was fine because her family paid
to die on the bottom of the ocean.
Her family paid $200 and something dollars. Well, it turned out to be a good day. Her family paid $200 and something dollars to go to a hotel beach that had Wi-Fi. So so that was their excursion. So we go to this beach, and then it turns out this other girl, she's like, I can't scuba dive, like I can't breathe, like I freak out. So she had this full face like scuba snorkel thing, and it was like a gas mask almost. It went over your whole head, and then it had a snorkel that went up the back, and that was awesome. That worked fine. So we just scubaed around in the lagoon. It was great. Okay. And then the guys come back, and they're like, no, it's just snorkeling actually.
Oh, okay.
So for us, the guys come back, and they're like, yeah, because of the storm last week, it was so cloudy we couldn't see anything. So
even the ones that actually went.
Yeah, it was a total waste of time for them. Wow. So it turned out to be a pretty good day. So I went in the ocean that time, and then at St. Kitts, I don't know. That was really nice.
I'm very stressed out just from that story. The idea of someone controlling my air from a boat.
They're not really controlling it from so imagine a scuba tank, and it's got a cord to it that goes to the tank, but instead of it being strapped to you, it's just on a little floaty above you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on the boat.
No, it's not on a boat. You start from the beach. It's like a little raft.
All you have to do is trust that the guy who's manning the entire all the equipment has, safety checked it regularly every single day.
But seriously, it's not that you seriously drop the weight belt and go up. You're less than 10 feet underwater.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, that's not so
We
bad.
get there, and he's like, okay, now who knows how deep we're gonna go? And I was like, I don't know. He's like 65 feet. And everybody freaks out, and he's like, "It's gonna be like 6 feet." Yeah,
he knows
300
how to have fun
feet.
at work. That's fun.
Free diving 300 feet.
We're going where no one's ever gone.
but I'm thinking to myself, I immediately go 65 feet. You have to depressurize on your way up. What the fuck's this guy talking? But I believed him.
Of course,
completely believed him.
I
was like, past 30 feet, you have to. No, and then he revealed that it was like a joke. but I fell for it hook, line, and
I would
sinker.
have too. Well, how are you?
But
not
I had a
trusting
different
this
reaction
guy?
than I think everyone else was like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. But me, I'm like, oh, that's really involved. Like, you need dive training to do that? No.
This is more complex than they made it seem in the brochure. They didn't give me the right goggles.
Yeah, but
I
the
don't know what's
worst,
going on.
I mean, it turned out to be a really good day, and we made friends that we hung out with on the cruise and stuff.
Nice.
So, but
Yeah, Gordon.
The
no, that was a
fisherman?
different day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gordon owns one of the islands.
Yeah,
his family owns
his
one of the
family. His
they-
family runs the
quote,
island.
Quote owns the government.
Yeah, he's like my. He's like, if you need anything, ask me. My family runs the government, and I kind of looked at him,
runs the government.
and he had like real nice jewelry on.
He meant it.
Really nice shoes.
Yeah.
And all his entourage did not. So I kind of believe Gordon. Kind of believe
Which
him.
government?
The government of Saint.
Is it Etienne? The
No.
the shitty.
An island.
I could figure it out, but it's gonna take.
It'll
a
come
little
to you
while.
at some
Martin.
point.
Saint Martin. Saint Martin.
de Porres.
No.
I went to that school.
You went to Saint Martin de Porres?
I'm loving
Yeah.
this. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How was that?
Going to school there?
Yeah. What? It's like a Catholic school, yeah.
It is one. It's not just like one.
Oh, well, all right.
Straight up. You know what's funny though about Catholic schools,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing that this is because they didn't have very high enrollment rates by the
Mm-hmm.
time I got. Because like my parents went to Catholic school. I think it was bigger like
Mm-hmm.
in their generation. This is my guess. But then by the time it rolled around for me to go, I don't think that a lot of parents were sending their kids there, so they just deemed it like a private school.
Yeah.
And said like, "Oh, we welcome anyone, but like you take religion, you go to church, you wear
well,
like."
I think they're legally required to welcome everyone too.
Oh, has it
Yeah.
always been that way?
I think so. Maybe not always, but it is now.
Except Harvard.
Well,
No more Asians allowed at Harvard, apparently.
I don't understand.
you didn't
Have
know
you heard
about
about
this?
this?
No,
So
it's not real.
Asian has been Harvard has been discriminating against Asians for about 2 decades.
Because
if you're an Asian person, you need to have better grades than you would be if you're a white or a black person or Native American or anything, because they have certain numbers that they decide they want
got
their
a quota.
demographic to be. But because Asians outperform everyone, that's not being racist.
You're
that's
painting with
that's
a broad
true.
brush, but I'm
No,
listening.
that's statistically accurate and true.
Mm-hmm.
So on college applications, Asians are in the top 5 percentile all the time. That's just not all Asians. I'm sure lots of
Right,
them that
there's
were.
lots of Asians.
I'm sure
yeah.
lots of Asians that were raised here aren't doing as well. It's a cultural thing, not a race thing. But yeah, Harvard has been holding Asians to much higher standards for like 20 years, and it's amazing that no one's reporting on it, and you don't even know about it.
Yeah,
I didn't know. You
Yeah,
think
it's
of all
it's
people,
big,
you'd think
it's
I
a
would
big
know.
scandal. That is straight up racism.
They're being sued.
Well,
Harvard
it
should
actually
Harvard should be.
doesn't-
I mean,
well, no,
It
they're being
doesn't
sued.
surprise me that
Yeah,
Harvard's race.
yeah.
I mean, does it
Yeah.
surprise you that these?
But what
like,
I'm saying is like, what's the answer to it? You just go, okay, well, it's only based on merit. Then it's all Asian people at Harvard. Then at that point, are you excluding other races or not?
I'm not sure.
It's like the
I'm not qualified to answer. Hi, BB.
The documents came out as part of a lawsuit charging Harvard with systematically discriminating against Asian Americans in violation of civil rights law. The suit says that Harvard imposes what is in effect a soft quota of racial balancing.
I think
this
every
keeps the numbers of
school does
Asian
it.
Americans artificially low while advancing less qualified white, black, and Hispanic applicants, the plaintiffs contend. And they actually have a personality analysis as opposed to their actual test scores, grades.
So it's
and
not just. It's
extracurricular
not just.
No.
Oh yeah, they do.
If
Yeah.
you're
All of these documents have come out. You can look at
Yeah.
this.
if you identify as Asian American, you have to do additional paperwork.
Not as Asian
No.
American.
Everybody does, but
Yeah.
the Asian Americans,
They're more nitpicky.
Harvard
about.
consistently rated Asian American applicants lower than others on traits like positive personality, likability, courage, kindness, and being widely respected.
Yeah.
How
So
can you quantify those things in someone you haven't met?
Well, I mean, I can quantify it. I've been an Airbnb host, and I can quantify the shit out of those numbers.
You met them, but you met those people.
I know, I did.
These are people you haven't met.
Yeah, sure.
How do you?
well,
how
that's
can you
that's how they do it with all college applications. I mean, they had-
courage,
Yeah, courage.
likability.
Yeah.
Actually,
I hate that word
as
because
they
it only
walk-
applies to women. It's fucking ridiculous.
As they walk in the door, they shoot at them. See what they do. If they freeze or run out of the place, they have
Right.
terrible courage. If they try to fight back, then
Yeah.
you're in.
If you can dodge a bullet. Oh,
If you can dodge a
God.
bullet, you can go to
You'll
Harvard.
make it at Harvard.
Yeah, but very specifically, fight back without a gun.
Yes.
You don't want those kind at Harvard.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, well, that's fun. Got
off the rails pretty quick.
Yeah, I know that went like completely sideways.
I like how every time, meaning last time and this time, we do this, we just don't have a plan.
No. I mean, we do have a
Makes
plan.
me
I mean,
I just wasn't informed of the plan.
Yeah, you're supposed to watch a movie.
Oh, I watched it.
You did. Good.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had all my money, all of it, placed on. She wouldn't watch it.
I was saying 20 to 1 that you wouldn't make it through
Oh
it.
yeah.
I would not.
I was like, I'll take that.
I'm very dependable today. So if you ask me so if you ask me to do something, I do it. I'll suffer through it. But
So we caught you at the right moment. That's good.
yeah, exactly.
So Kathleen's task was to watch Army of Darkness because it's a kind of a time travel movie. I mean, it is.
No, I mean that wasn't even originally why we picked it. It was the first movie that came to mind that I thought she would really dislike.
So in the Facebook post to warn everybody that the show is starting, I wrote what did I write down? Fucking guy movies with a feminist. I thought that would be a nice bit, like the title to the bit. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, I was watching it last night, just going, she's really not going to like this part.
I watched it this morning, and I haven't.
I bought it. I'm
going to
watch it again.
Seen it
You bought it?
Yeah, it was only $3 more.
I haven't seen it in probably
It's a principal thing, man.
10 years, maybe. It's been a long time since I've watched Army of Darkness, like from front to back, and the entire time I was howling, laughing at all the stuff that you get.
It really added an element to it.
Oh yeah, it was like a new layer of the movie.
Right, like imagining me watching it. Yeah. Tanner, was he saying this to you guys or just to me? That we should have done this and you were there, that we should set it up in such a way that like we were live, like we were watching it together, commenting on it.
See, I like that, but it's also not possible to do that on YouTube because it's copyright infringement. Yeah, but I didn't want to argue with Tanner because Tanner disagrees with everything I say, no matter what it is.
It was a good idea. Tanner's my boss. It was a good idea, Tanner.
Yeah,
we could.
I like the idea. What you have to do is you have to do. You know how Rogan does Fight Companion?
Boo.
Yes.
You
Sync it.
you go, okay, so we're starting the movie now, and then people watch it at home, so there's no audio of the movie going out, but they're watching it at home while they're listening to what we're saying.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, though.
It's cool, but that's a niche. Like,
yeah, you got to
get
people
you're not going to have as many people.
Yeah.
I think I really like the idea of doing this recurring theme, and it could be a podcast. Just Kathleen watches time travel movies that she doesn't want to watch.
Yes.
We don't even have to make it time travel movies. We could just make it like I like the guy movies. I like that. That's my favorite thing.
Make her watch fucking Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport and like Predator.
Yeah.
Terminator.
I've seen one Terminator. I've seen.
We talked about this already. You saw one
I
of the
fell
worst
asleep.
ones. Yeah,
I
think
it
it was
fell
Terminator
asleep.
3: Rise of the Machines. I think
that sounds right.
Yeah,
it was one of the newer. Like I guess there have been clumps of Terminators.
A couple of them. Yeah.
So it's like one of the newer. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we could listen back.
There was a guy in the beginning with a suitcase, and he gets cut, or like someone hands off a suitcase.
Oh, that was Genesis.
Oh, yes, that's like the newest.
And
that one was doo doo.
Yeah. The only ones that exist for me is Terminator 1 and 2 and Terminator Salvation, the video game. the movie falls apart at the end.
But we're talking about Army of Darkness. Now, there is a little bit extra to Army of Darkness, like prequel type stuff.
Yeah.
That goes on. It's probably a little confusing in the beginning.
Well, that's why he gives like that little...
The whole movie's confusing.
Okay. Yeah.
So I filled her in on a little bit of the backstory.
Sense.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't
seen it... Sorry to interrupt. I was glad that you said that he had a chainsaw hand because I was like, the fuck is this? And it all went so fast. Like when the movie starts, it's such a rapid succession of events, and I'm thinking, why are they? And then I realized that it was the third. I'd forgotten that it was the third. Cause I was so
you can go into it and not have seen the first two and not really miss much of anything because they give you that little bit in the beginning. The first 2 minutes, he explains what's happening. But for those that don't know, there's Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 1 is an independent film. It was shot on 8mm. It was done in a weekend in a cabin with 6 people.
And like a shitload of claymation.
Yeah, and
a shitload of
I have
claymation.
that's a note in my about this movie as well.
So they made the first movie. It had a cult following when VHS came out. It was never released in theaters.
Okay.
Sam Raimi's the director. He's pretty famous.
Yeah,
He
he's
directed
super
Spider-Man
famous, yeah.
movies. He's a pretty famous director.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The first two Spider-Man movies he did.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
how many
Bruce,
movies
you've
he's
seen the
done.
first Spider-Man movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you know when he goes in the ring and does the wrestling match to get money for the car. The announcer, that's Bruce Campbell.
I don't remember what he looks like. Wait,
Yeah,
Bruce
it's
Campbell?
from that
He's
guy.
Ash, yeah.
Because I've
with the
seen him in
chainsaw
other
hand.
shit, and I was like,
Yeah.
how'd they get this guy to do this?
Yeah, so it's usually because Sam Raimi calls him up and just like, you want
Was
to do
it
this
him
project?
and was
Yeah,
it,
you bored?
Yeah.
yeah, right. Was it him in all 3?
Yes.
Yes.
So Evil Dead, I believe, is his first film.
Yeah.
Ever.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, it's not?
No.
So
He's had
I
a
should have his
couple, like,
IMDb.
short film. There was like some weird movie that he did, but it's his first one that he's done where he got notoriety for.
Critically acclaimed.
Yeah, he's like a B movie actor, kind of short.
I feel like I've seen him.
Stuff like that.
There's other
He
things
did a
I've
lot of
seen
soap
him in.
operas too.
Yeah.
Have you
No, I
seen
don't-
Fargo?
No.
Fargo
There's that
Fargo
side.
is a fantastic
that's quite the
multi award winning,
Yeah.
Oscar winning, like crazy
People
celebrated movie
people
that
talk about
everyone loves.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell is not in it.
Okay.
But he is in a soap opera that's playing on the TV in the background.
Oh my god.
So he does claim that he was in an Oscar winning film.
I would do the same thing. That's great.
All right.
There's
so
a show now made of Fargo.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's supposed to be
knew
good.
There's a show based on the Evil Dead series as well. It's called Ash versus the Evil Dead. It's on Showtime and it's fantastic.
I bet it is.
So the first movie was made,
Mm-hmm.
and then Sam Raimi, he actually got a lot more funding to do another movie.
This
so
is a question I have. From whom?
Well, I mean,
Who paid for this?
people just like they look at the numbers and see like how much the cult following is. I guess he got some producers on board, and he wanted to do it again. Like he wanted to remake the movie, but the problem was the licensing for the title of the original movie was stuck in limbo. He couldn't get it back, so he released another movie called The Evil Dead 2, which was pretty much the first one with extra stuff attached
they
to
kind
it.
of they kind of remade the whole first movie in the first 20 minutes of the sequel.
Okay.
Then it picks up from there. And I believe he loses the hand in Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loses the hand in Evil Dead 2. He cuts it off, puts the chainsaw on, and all that stuff. But all that can't be kind of like...
Yeah.
Sam Raimi...
Also,
like-
if you look at his camera work, that is Sam Raimi. Like, he invented a lot of that. Like, that close-up, shaky, like,
Okay.
almost stop-motion animation look of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
He would do that by filming... I think he does it by filming at, like, a really high frame rate and then removing frames and then slowing it down to, like, regular... Something like... And speeding up... I don't know. But
He
it gives this, like,
created this-
weird, like, almost stop-motion animation look to video.
He created this sort of
remember that.
comedy
Was it
comedy horror subgenre. Like, it's weird because at points
was
you're like, what the fuck? Because
Yeah.
there's, like, some scary shit.
Yes,
Like-
thank you. I was saying that to Matt this morning. I was like, I closed my eyes a few times.
It
was yucky.
The Evil Dead 2
like it.
was pretty. They had some really scary points, especially his like claymation and like a lot of his special effects are really well done for such a silly goddamn movie. So it's
It's
confuses-
confusing.
It's
I was
very
confused.
confusing.
I was unnerved.
But when you think
the
of
whole
like
time.
Beetlejuice,
I never saw
oh my god, that hurts my soul. And that's why you're on the show.
That's my job here. Oh, I told Adam I would be willing to continue this if, like, make me watch terrible movies if we can dress up and eat on theme every
With the
time we
movie?
discuss it.
Like, with the movie.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay. She
What do you
wants to do, in
The
the
Finer
office when they
Things
did the
Club.
Finer Things Club.
Oh, so you want
I mean,
like a
we can do
nice
that.
tea, like
Well, we did.
No,
finger
I want it to be
sandwiches?
based on the movie that we watched, so it's going to be ridiculous. Like,
So if we watch Beetlejuice, what the fuck would
you
we
go
eat?
dress up like a character.
Oh, shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat that.
I have
but
a
I'll
full.
bring-
I have a full-on Beetlejuice costume.
You're
in
all-
this
you're
basement right now.
Ready in the you're ready then.
I could probably
I think you should
get
put on
dressed
at least
as
part of it.
Beetlejuice. Give me 10 minutes. I'll be almost Beetlejuice.
I'll see you in 10 minutes.
So
wait a minute.
that's a little background from the movie.
Wait a minute.
Hang on.
The Evil Dead is not the first movie.
Dun dun dun.
The first one's called Within the Woods from 1978.
Oh, it's a short. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Same director?
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? But cool.
But yeah. So Army of Darkness picks up where Evil Dead 2 left off. He got sucked into the Necronomicon tornado.
That was good recall.
Vortex time something or other.
Yes.
Yeah.
He goes to 1300.
What was your initial feelings of
confusion? I laughed a few times.
It's a funny fucking movie.
I laughed at the slapstick Three Stooges shit, which is surprising because I never find that stuff funny. But you know what I think it was the bar was so low. I was so disappointed and just upset the whole time I was watching this that
you just gave in.
There were moments and I was like, oh, thank God, some relief, like when some silly moments. But what I laughed pretty close to the beginning when he first lands, where in the past, and someone tries to talk to him. And I don't remember what he says to the guy, but it's very funny. He's like, listen, Sonny.
He goes, what does he say? He said, look at Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, you're the leader of Jack and shit, and Jack left town.
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
It's fucking funny.
He's got awesome one-liners.
I didn't expect... So immediately I'm thrown because I don't expect him to be a character like that. Because what they showed of him, so again, I haven't seen the first two, and what they show of him in the little recap is that he works in like a department store or something. So I'm expecting like a mild-mannered, confused guy. S-smart, right?
Yeah.
Shop smart. And then he ends up being this like Bruce Willis, weird. You're kind of like rooting against him the whole time because he's a jackass.
Yeah,
but, like,
he's a complete asshole.
Yeah.
But he's really good at killing demons.
And he's been
I have
killing...
so many things to say about that, too.
He's been killing demons for, like, days at this point. So he's just exhausted.
So that movie picks up...
He's got no
like,
fucks left.
It's only been, like, 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since the first film all the way up to that.
Okay.
You know,
He acts like he's been doing this for years.
Yeah,
I gotta get home.
They gloss over it a lot in that movie, but he goes up to the cabin originally with two of his... It's standard slasher movie. You know, two couples go to a cabin. Everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
Right? Goes up to the cabin. His friend's girlfriend... Actually, was it his sister?
I don't remember.
Might have been his sister and her. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the girl gets possessed. They lock her in the basement. They're not sure what to do. It has to do with this Necronomicon thing that Ash reads.
Yes.
And unleashes this fucking thing.
Where was the book? In the cabin?
It was in the cabin in the basement.
I'm trying to imagine that I'm someone that hasn't seen any of these movies who's just listening to this right now and wants to blow their brains out.
I gotta check this out.
Here's a fun little.
Here's how you should watch these movies.
You should watch it.
You should watch the remake of Evil Dead.
The new one?
The new one.
Okay.
To see what Sam Raimi really wanted the first movie to be, which was a horror slasher film, gore fest, fucking crazy, scary, terrifying thing.
No one should
watch
that.
Then you should go back and watch the original Evil Dead and see the ridiculousness that it is. And then just go right on up to Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness is hilarious. I think it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
Also, did you know that his full name Ash is Ashley Joanna Williams?
Joanna?
It's the character's full name,
Why?
Ashley Joanna Williams.
I didn't know that.
And
'cause
everybody
they
just
don't
calls him
mention
Ash.
it. Okay.
Yeah. It's a
I didn't
badass name. Especially you could be like, fuck, yeah, my name is Ashley. You want to fight about it? I have a chainsaw hand.
I didn't even know his name was Ash. That's how, like,
Yeah,
not... it wasn't... none of it was clear. Nothing was clear in this entire movie.
Well, not many people say his name in the movie, but he does say at the beginning.
I'm going to go right into my comments. This is one of my comments, that there isn't a ton of dialogue. I don't know if either of you noticed this at all. So, like, for a good amount of the movie, he's alone.
It's mostly
He's
just,
on
right, what the fuck?
Yes.
Yes,
and I'm learning as I'm watching this. I've only watched one movie ever that was really impactful with no dialogue, and it was that one where the guy's on the boat in the middle of the ocean by himself.
Oh, yeah, with George Clooney?
No.
Robert
Redford. Okay, there was no dialogue, no music, no nothing.
Yeah.
It was I couldn't look away. It was great.
It's called Castaway.
It is.
It's not.
It is not.
But this, so same idea, but obviously poorly executed because it just left me so confused. So you're right. No one said his name because no one really said anything.
Yeah. And
Except
they just
for,
called
like,
him like Strange One and Future Man and
yes,
things like that.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And thou, beloved, like
Yeah.
that's what they were calling him. Like,
How'd you
they
like her
weren't-
character? Pretty spot on for the 1300s, probably a bit.
Did you guys
She's
realize?
real powerful female character, right?
She's always upset, or like she's about to cry.
Well,
or
she's
run
always
away.
wrong. She's always wrong. She's not
Okay.
really, but
No,
but the
but they make
perception
her
is,
seem-
yeah, they
right.
make her wrong all the time.
Did you all
She gets
notice?
captured and immediately flips sides.
Immediately.
Yeah,
She,
you know that's the underlying
well, that's
theme.
not really. I mean, she
That's
was.
not her fault.
it's
She
not
was
her fault.
possessed, but
Yes.
I'm just saying, like,
What-
she's a
what-
woman that needed rescuing, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's all that they paint of her. What killed me was the you meet her as someone who's like willing to kill this guy because he killed someone she was supposed to marry.
She
Is
thought,
that right?
She thought
No, it was
he-
her brother.
Yeah, she thought he killed his brother. Or
She
she
thought
thought
that
he
he
killed her
was-
brother.
Her brother.
She thought that
Okay.
he was part of Henry the Great's
You know, Jack and
army.
shit.
Yeah.
That
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah.
The red hair. Yeah.
So, and when she finds out her brother was killed in battle, and the thing that people don't realize is like Henry the Great. Everyone says all of that. I mean, we're talking about a war between less than 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
in real life or in
Oh,
this
in real
movie?
life, yeah.
I don't
Have
know
you?
who Henry
There was
the Great
a somebody remade like Robin Hood.
recently.
Like,
It's out right now. I think.
Well, no. This is 10 years ago. They remade Robin Hood, and they had like the actual like invasion of England.
Oh, I think that
And
was
you're
like the
talking. I mean,
Russell
you're
Crowe
talking.
one?
Yeah, you're talking about boats carrying an army. Now, an army. Think of an entire community living in a castle is maybe 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm always confused by that.
half the men.
So was I.
Yeah.
Like, why would you live there?
I've always been confused by
Well,
that.
Make your own fucking house.
Yeah, like you're in the walls.
Well,
but
you
it's,
don't
like,
live. You don't live
just
within the
dirt.
walls. The castle's there, and then you live on all the farms. That, it's not like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, where there are these huge armies going over. It's not like that.
Yeah.
These huge battles that we're talking about, like pre-Napoleonic War era stuff, it's like a king. Yes, he's a king. He's a king of his country, but there's seriously 2,000 people in the entire country.
Yeah.
So your kingdom and your arm, so you have 500, 600 people living within your little kingdom,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
You can't have all 500 be, in your army. So Alexander the Red, or that was who it was, right? I mean, we're talking about this battle that decimated all of these forces and whatever. We're probably talking about a battle of like 150 people.
Well,
versus
they actually said
150
we have
people.
60 men.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Was that supposed to be funny?
No.
I found it funny.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good point. He was like, we've got like 60 people left. Like, what do you want us to do? I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be funny. Okay.
But I thought that the numbers are kind of interesting because very few movies really show that, like
I don't
historical
think they
type.
thought that much about it.
But even these
I just
things.
don't think they had enough actors to play.
Yeah.
But
There's
it,
a lot
but
of
it
extras.
wound up being
cinematography.
more
all
realistic
adds up.
than any of it. Like all
Yeah,
these fucking.
I grant you that, but I don't think it was intentional. I'm
Yeah.
not going to give them that. I don't think they meant
But you
it.
say, what the fuck was that? Gladiator.
That movie was amazing.
I love Gladiator, but
So
the
good.
battle in the beginning against they're basically the Scots,
I don't remember.
Celts.
Celts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celts.
Yeah.
Tribal friggin'
from Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, Scots. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
So
Same.
Actually, no. I think they were Germanic.
could be.
It was
I don't
a
know.
Germanic
That
tribe.
part doesn't matter. But all of those giant regiments of tens of thousands of Roman troops, that never really happened. How are you going to feed all those people?
Salt.
Salt
And bread.
Yeah.
Vegetables?
Anyway, that's all besides the point.
foraged fruits?
I don't think anybody ate vegetables back then, did they? Potatoes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did. It
Potato.
was just it wasn't all year round. You ate vegetables in the summer
When they grew, yeah. Makes sense.
How did you feel about...
Hold on. This was my point. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Nope.
So I thought I was thinking this the entire time. I must not have been paying close attention. That I thought that she thought her betrothed was killed.
Yeah, I could see because
and they had her flip flop to wanting to kill the guy who killed her intended husband to then like falling in love with him, and I was so irritated by that.
Yeah, he was such a dick too.
This is what I was gonna ask you. How'd you feel about the scene where she slaps him or punches him, goes to run out, he grabs her, and then he just looks her looks at her and says, "Give me some sugar, baby."
I did this. I was doing this.
So you mean the scene that happened
falls
right
for
after
it.
he creates a fully functioning
The
prosthetic hand,
Yeah.
which is something that we haven't had. We didn't have that until 2014.
He's very smart.
Well,
He
you
has
know
a
what I love
Science
about
101
that?
book.
What I love about that is that okay, wait, was that when he? No, that was at the end. When
Yeah,
he
he
picks
had
up his
the
hood.
Chemistry
That was
101.
pretty funny. Yeah, was it supposed to be funny?
Which
Yes.
part?
The Chemistry 101
Yes.
book.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
his trunk is full
Well,
of
I
shit
mean,
like that.
Chemistry 101 would have a gunpowder recipe in it, but
I didn't know. I was
mean,
like,
are
is this
you-
real? Is it supposed
Yeah.
to be funny? It was pretty funny. But the hand, I thought was funny that he needed to like call a blacksmith to help, like as though that would have done anything to like
Yeah.
solder the metal. And like meanwhile, it's just,
Solder
like,
my ass. They
robotic
would have had to
hand.
like.
it's a goddamn robotic hand
would've
that's fully
had-
functional.
But,
yeah,
like,
it was like
completely works.
hydraulic. He crushed the fucking
Yeah.
mug with it.
Yeah, it was like a pewter fucking
Everyone was very impressed.
wine glass.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a goblet.
I mean, I don't doubt that he could make something like that, but just to have it control and
Who?
work.
Who the blacksmith?
No, I mean, I could make something that could crush a fucking goblet given enough time, not in one day. But I couldn't make something that I could control with my mind.
He made it in a few
Oh, he
hours.
could.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, it's like connected.
He's
to
like,
his
I need a new
neuro
fucking-
pathways.
Yeah. I need a new fucking hand, and I need after I'm done with that, an hour later, I need 3 slave girls to feed me grapes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Oh,
No, that was beforehand. That was
that
before
was
that.
before. That was
Yeah.
And
before.
that's what I'm saying. He got his hand, and then he got grapes.
No,
Did
that
you
was before.
notice-
The grapes were
Oh,
before.
whatever.
He still had one hand. That was right after.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you notice so the introduction of this main? What's her name? Does she have a name?
No.
Yes, because it's a
Sheila.
stupid name. It's Sheila.
It's fucking Sheila.
Fucking name is Sheila.
It's fucking Sheila. So we meet Sheila, and
like, no.
and I'm thinking that I think that she's flip flopped with this guy. So I'm actually glad that that's not the case. But I believe the next like major scene she's in, she's knitting. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, she was making a blanket for him.
They
and
don't
then,
tell you that yet, but
yeah,
she's knitting.
and then
I'm
she
like,
gives
she's
it to him. He's like,
fucking-
"Great, I could use a blanket for my horse." And that was when she runs out, and he goes,
Right.
"Give me some sugar,
And
baby."
then she's so charmed
Yeah.
by that wonderful line that he uses.
So, all of this being said,
That didn't like.
if you
you
watch
didn't
Ash
melt?
versus the Evil Dead,
did. A
if
part
you
of me
watch
died.
Ash versus the Evil Dead in the first episode, it shows it's a real-time sequel. So it's been 20-something years since that. He now lives in a trailer. He's got like a wooden prosthetic hand, and he's just this like 50-year-old dude who goes to dive bars trying to pick up old ladies.
Wait, what is
Yeah,
this?
This is the Ash versus the Evil
Oh,
Dead
the show. The show. Okay.
Yeah, and he gets there's a lot of like
How do you go from metal
making-
to wood?
well, chances are it stopped working after a while. It was steam powered apparently.
What?
Yeah.
It was powered by horse shit. Like,
Yeah,
they
but
didn't
he's
have
got
anything
well
about
he
it.
I think in the show he eventually does make another hand. But anyway,
Okay.
that's besides. But it really does show like what a chauvinistic fucking asshole he is now.
Oh, it shows you that
Yeah.
now. You didn't
Yeah.
get that from this movie.
Well, but back then
No,
it was
he
acceptable.
the hero.
It was totally fine.
That's
Yeah,
how heroes
it's totally
talk.
fine.
Says who?
Says movies, not reality movies.
I actually made a comment. I made a note
Mhm.
about that, and I was like, they're gonna kill me for this, but I wrote down. What did I write? Hold on, let me find it. I have a lot of notes.
Jesus.
Oh, I
we
wrote-
should run them down.
I wrote role of women as idiots and sidekicks because I think that even and I'm gonna get serious for a second. Even in these dumbass, and I'm gonna give them whatever, like I'll give them leeway because of when they were made, but also I'm not going to because even in these stupid ass parody whatever low budget movies, seeing women the way that this fucking character is portrayed is so bad for you. It's so fucking
it's
bad for you.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think people understand because, like, obviously we're all looking at it, or I know I'm looking at it with eyes that are
Yeah.
rolling watching this.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people wouldn't even have a reaction to it because, oh, haha, it's par for the course. But, like, it's so fucking bad. Like, we're
Yeah.
influenced even by these
And-
ridiculous movies to see women in these horrible,
Yeah.
moronic
And if I wanted
roles
to
without
take
brains.
like, if I wanted to take like the chauvinistic, like devil's advocate approach, it would be like, well, it's the 1300s, but her name's fucking Sheila.
And
You
he's
know,
got
like-
a fucking metal arm
yeah,
that
he's
works
got
on
a metal hand that
car,
works great. yeah,
And
yeah.
women had brains and,
why
were
did they convert
complex
the
in
car
the
to,
1300s
to a steam
too.
engine? It ran.
What?
Why'd
No,
they
it
pull
ca-
the engine out of the car?
It didn't run. It dropped out of the sky.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
were-
Hurt the motor.
Actually, do you know what made me laugh was when they
Yeah,
were
it might.
poking at it with swords, and I'm like, that's probably pretty fucking accurate. Like, if a car
Oh,
dropped out of
definitely.
the sky
Yeah.
in the 1300s, you wouldn't.
Oh,
like,
I'd be bashing the shit out of
they
it.
were like, they thought it was something. They thought it was like an animal or something because they were like,
Yeah.
get out, come out of your shells. Like, that's
Also,
pretty funny.
he fell onto like some flat something. You want to know what that was? That was padding.
Oh yeah.
that was supposed to be covered up. I think.
You could see it.
Yeah, you could see.
I did notice it,
Yeah,
but
and
when
they're
it
like
cut
these-
back,
these
it wasn't there
squares.
anymore.
I think they were supposed to be
didn't
covered by sand, or the camera's at the wrong
Sand.
angle or something. But yeah, he landed on fucking like gym mats.
And just like bounced. You
Yeah.
could see the sand. Did you guys notice that that pit part like right toward the beginning, the first guy, I rewatched it actually. It's pretty funny, and I don't think this was intentional. The first guy they push in the pit, they push him to the edge, and then he pauses and willingly jumps into the pit. Like I don't think that was meant. I think it was just a really bad
bad
scene.
edit. Yeah.
And then when what's his name? Ash. When they send him in, he's like
Mr.
faltering
Campbell.
at the edge, and then all of a sudden he does a fucking
Oh yeah.
front flip.
Well, yeah, it was because somebody hit him in the head with a rock.
No,
Sheila threw a rock at him.
She threw a rock, but then he goes like this for a minute, and then all of a sudden he
was
jumps
concussed.
and does a front flip.
No, he was
He
concussed.
was.
He was
Yeah.
stumbling around, and then somebody kicked him.
That wouldn't create a front flip.
He just rolled forward.
He like tucked his knees and held them and did a perfect 360 swan dive into that pit.
Did you like?
Unrealistic.
I want to know what parts like made
Made me
scared
laugh.
you.
Oh, scared me.
I'm curious.
I don't like blood at all, ever. I also am.
So you didn't like the 300 gallons of blood
But
that
you actually
sprayed out of the pit?
You warned me about
Yeah.
that, actually.
Well, I was
I
telling
didn't know
her
it was coming, but
yeah, I was telling her about the first Evil Dead, and I was like, it's ridiculous. There is one point where seriously a fire hose of blood comes out of the basement. It's insane.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought you were talking about this one.
No. I
But
was talking about
same
that, but
thing.
same kind of thing.
But
that was
thing.
yeah.
That's why Sam Raimi, like, people loved his gore so much because it was so over the top. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the stuff like that you see in Saw, they're going for realism.
Saw fucked.
Saw 3 bothered me when they were doing
stopped
brain
watching
surgery
after the
on him,
first one.
and then they started like cutting
Which one
that.
is Saw 3?
It's
The
when-
house.
No, I don't. Like they were in a hospital or something like that.
He was in the hospital.
He was in the hospital.
They were in a
and
house.
they needed to relieve the pressure on his brain, so
remember
they
that.
cut away. They showed the entire thing, and they cut a chunk of his skull out. I was like, nope, I'm done.
That bothered me more than the
that
guy
was
cutting
too
his foot
much
off.
for me.
What bothers me about Saw more than anything, more than the gore, is the anxiety. Like just feeling this. They're just such horrible situations.
But that, well, I mean,
I
It's
just
not
think
the
there are better
blood,
movies
it's
that,
like-
that do
for
that
horror
for you.
movies, that's
I don't
that's
watch
what they're
horror
meant to
movies,
do. And to be honest, like if that's what they were going for, freak me the
nobody's-
fuck out.
nobody's
Congratulations,
arguing-
I couldn't finish the goddamn movie.
Yeah, nobody's arguing
or,
the success of that. I just I don't like the murder porn type movies.
and that's what
I don't
that
think
is.
Saw was like that.
Yeah. The first one definitely was.
Hostel.
No
I've only
way.
seen the first one.
You had to think about that.
See, I don't
movie.
think those,
I haven't watched it in 15 years, and I hate it.
No, it was
so,
good. Oh, I loved it. And I don't like scary obviously.
first one's
Don't like
good.
scary- It's
First one's
really
real
good.
good.
You could not guess that ending. No one fucking guessed that ending.
Well, there were just a lot of things at the end where I was just like, I'm too pragmatic when it comes to movies. It either has to be so ridiculous like Army of Darkness, or they got to have all their fucking T's crossed and I's dotted.
I felt like this movie had all of its T's crossed.
I don't know. I feel
They
like
also
somebody
watched
with
it
lung
when I was
cancer
15.
couldn't lay there that long without making a noise.
But he's Jigsaw.
Also, the other two were a little distracted by their impending death.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd have to watch it again. I can't really speak to why I disliked it.
Well,
At this point, it's been too long.
it's also really intense. It's like so intense that it's upsetting at the end. Like so intense.
I'll
But
have
this
to
movie,
like again. I'll have to take your word for it. I haven't seen it. In,
okay, so watch it again.
Probably. I mean, I might be. I watched it when it was on HBO when it first came out and was playing on television.
I saw it in the theater
So that
with
could
a bunch
be-
of friends, and I wanted to pretend like I wasn't scared, so I didn't leave the theater.
When did Saw
but I
come
was really
out?
scared. I was 15, I think, 14, 15.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
2003 is my guess. No, how old am I? Oh my god, I'm older than I thought. No, I'm right. 2002.
2004.
Oh, was it 4?
So I haven't seen it in probably 13 years.
Time is so weird.
Yeah.
So
it's time travel.
I disagree respectfully. What's the other scary parts of this movie?
yeah, I'm curious.
Anything that involved I don't like the sounds of violence more than anything. So there was a lot of like squishing and chopping
Yeah.
that I didn't like at all. And I really didn't like when when the eye came out of his shoulder.
Yeah.
I did not like that at all. It was that part was
growing.
Oh, I didn't like that at all. No.
The best.
That was the worst special effects in that movie.
So
/ the best. Cause
The eye?
No, like that part was perfect.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It was perfect.
It scared me.
And then there were points where it looked really good.
When
And then
he's
there's the
running
point
around
where
in
he,
his second,
yeah.
the evil ash is growing
Yeah.
out of him. That part where they're like slapping each other and
Yeah.
shit like that, and it's just like really bad green screen.
The green
and it's
screen
like,
looked really bad, but the worst part is when he has a prosthetic on that's not moving. And
it's just like
leaning
this.
against the tree, and it's like
Oh.
this, and you can see it just bouncing.
It's just rubber.
It looks terrible.
But it's like you have
Yeah.
to wonder if did he keep this stuff in on purpose?
I
Because
think
it
so.
I
was-
think so. Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Unless no one edited this movie. and
No,
they
no, no.
just-
I think everybody wanted a follow up, and he's like, "You want a fucking follow up? Here's a follow up."
Yeah.
And,
Just half
you know.
done kind of shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say half done. I would say
I mean, a lot of it was budget wise.
Yeah.
I mean, when did it come out?
you want insanity. Here's insanity.
1993.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big budget movie for 93. 93, green screen wasn't that good.
Mm-mm.
No,
So-
there was better stuff that happened in
Jurassic
1993.
Park. When did that come out?
Jurassic Park, Home Alone.
Yeah. Jurassic Park wasn't green screen.
They also
though.
had a
It's-
giant budget
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
For a lot
Jurassic Park. If I were to put money on it, I would say 100 times the budget, times 100. Jurassic
no,
Park's,
I
yeah.
I
We
thought
could
about
find that
looking
out.
up.
We could look at it. It would
I
take
don't
too
wanna.
long. Maybe we'll do it for next week.
Forget it. Fuck it.
Yeah, but this was probably a couple million in 93, whereas
Couple
Jurassic
million
Park,
wasted.
100 million in 93.
They could have fed a lot of people with that money. Said
Yeah.
they made this piece of garbage.
I mean, you
It's
could
the truth.
film.
say
It's
that
not
about
great.
the Notebook.
It's not a great film. No, you couldn't. The Notebook's amazing. I don't care what you say. I cry every time I watch it. That movie changed everyone's lives. Shut up. It was the equivalent to a healthy meal. It fed my soul. This movie, you know what's interesting though? I went into it with a lot less pressure to like it, whereas Back to the Future, I felt.
Oh,
even
man.
though
Oh, well,
I-
you're still wrong about that.
Oh yeah,
no one likes
completely.
you. So
yeah, we're really
Yeah.
we're still
Yeah.
very upset about you not
Yeah,
liking
you're a
that
bad
movie.
person.
I can.
It's fine. Yeah.
Wow, I can feel that. Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
so
Whereas this, I expected you to not like it. So it's
We're like,
fine.
oh, from.
Yeah.
we fucking know you don't love the movie.
I mean, so you.
Why'd
so,
you bring it up?
So
But
it's
there
we
was a
don't like you
pressure.
because of that, and so does the entirety of the internet.
Did you just tell me the whole internet doesn't like you?
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
Really, you're a bully.
I mean, that's a broad generalization, but it's got to be at least 50-50.
Well, I stand in my truth.
Okay.
But
You can like what you want.
I didn't
you know.
feel like I was supposed to like this.
Yes.
So I was lighter in my
We picked
assessment.
this. We picked this, or I kind of picked
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was one of the ones that we had rattled off.
Oh sure.
But it was the first one that came to mind, knowing that you wouldn't like it.
It was a smart
Yeah.
choice.
And it was a gut choice. And
Yeah.
then when I was watching it, I was like, I can see why I knew she wouldn't like this. And it was mostly about Sheila.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's mostly why I didn't like.
Yeah.
I knew it. I was like, I'm gonna have to get a serious point in about the way that we portray women in movies, and I did.
I was
so-
actually excited.
It's
to
getting
find-
better.
I can go home now.
I have to say it's getting better.
What is?
I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp the other day.
Okay.
And
Are we having this conversation?
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
That movie is specifically designed around Paul Rudd's dum-dum, and his partner is really running the show.
Well,
Yeah.
this is another conversation. That's going to spiral out into something else, whether or not it's like being forced. Like I feel like sometimes.
But that movie didn't feel forced because Paul Rudd's kind of a goofball like that. That like it works in that movie. But I'm just saying that there are examples out there of very
Yes.
powerful female leads,
Yes.
and it makes sense. And sometimes it's the guy is the caricature. This was a long time ago, but they were talking about commercials where it's like, my husband's such an idiot. You remember that on Opie and Anthony?
Yeah.
Like that's been going on for a long time but on the other
But
hand, they're
what's that
probably
doing?
doing it
Those
to
commercials are for
yeah.
women to like sell
To
laundry
buy shit,
detergent.
yeah.
So
Anthony,
no one
this is on
wins
Opie and
there.
Anthony. He's like, he's in the background, tangled in the blinds. Honey, I don't know what's happening.
And she's like, "Oh dear, oh he," and she's like folding his socks, and she's like, "If only I had a brain, I could get out of this life. I hate
Get
myself."
a husband that's not an idiot.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
so-
anyway, like that's one
yes.
example of a movie with a very strong female presence that I think is good.
I have a comment to make about
Mm-hmm.
it feeling forced, though. I feel that if you're watching something with a strong female lead and you feel like it's forced, that's really your issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
this okay? So
is it my issue or is it the issue of the script or the way it was written or whatever the hell? It just seems like shoehorned. I'm like, I have no examples. I'm just playing.
I have a great example.
It might feel uncomfortable because you're not used to seeing it, and it might feel unrealistic because it challenges your view of women.
That's not true. I watched like Alien. The whole
happens to
Alien
me too,
series is one of my favorite things in the world. And
Okay,
the main
let me ask you
character
something.
is
I've
Sigourney
never seen
Weaver.
these movies. I've never seen them, obviously. But let me ask you, what is she wearing the entirety of the movie? Is she wearing clothing?
She's wearing clothing. She's wearing clothing the entirety of the movie except for the last scene.
Is it realistic clothing?
Yeah, she's wearing a.
Oh yeah, she's
wearing a jumpsuit, like a flight suit, the entire time, and then at the end she takes the top off, and she's
wearing
has
like a wife beater.
She's just wearing a wife beater.
She's about to get
underneath,
into a.
and she's carrying a fucking flamethrower around. And then in the second one, she's
no.
carrying a flamethrower attached to a fucking machine gun. And in the third one, her head's shaved.
She's
and she's
fully
trying
clothed.
to kill the thing
She's fully
with
clothed
no
except
guns.
for one scene in the whole movie.
Okay.
Okay, that aside, I agree. That's like the best example of, especially something that happened in the 70s, of a very strong female lead that feels completely right. It's not forced, nothing. And no one ever brings it up because it was just like, we just wrote this as if she was a person instead of going, hey, you know what we should do.
But I think that it can be argued that that's still not, that's still like a physical strength. And I think that that's something that men, it still can be seen as something that's done through the male gaze because men, all straight cis men, tend to find that attractive anyway. So I'm talking about more strong in terms of character, in terms of complexity, in terms of intelligence, in terms of like.
Well, if we want to talk about
positions,
Alien, I
which
think
make people
I think
uncomfortable because
that
it's
could be
not
the
how we
next
see
one
the
that she
world.
watches to come on the show. The
Oh,
first
Alien's
Alien.
awesome. You probably might.
So
you
I
might
mean,
actually like
especially
it.
I mean,
trust your
especially
judgment,
yeah,
It's really good.
It's a fantastic film.
Well,
And-
it's a
and-
well done film in general.
And the thing is, another thing is that
It's one of
Sigourney
the
Weaver.
real quick, it's one of the first horror movies to not use music.
Yeah.
At all?
There's no music in it.
Oh, I'm gonna be scared. I'm already scared.
It's
Yeah, it's
fucking
horrifying.
terrifying.
I'm already so stressed out.
Just a quick side note about Alien is you have Tom Skerritt, who was a huge actor when that movie came out, and you had Sigourney Weaver, who was a very minor actor when
Nice
it came
beard, feathered mullet.
out. Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you what happens.
Is it a goddamn love interest? See, that's the thing too. Does
They
she
cut
fall
it.
in love with this guy?
They cut it.
Okay.
There was supposed to be one, and the director said, we're not doing this
Because
anymore.
it would minimize her to.
Because it minimized the character. It was distracting from the storyline. It didn't fucking
You
matter.
got a vibe.
They cut
but
her
that's
love
it.
interest from every movie.
That's awesome.
She had a love interest in all three of them. And they-
The third one they didn't cut it completely. The doctor.
Yeah, they flirted a little bit and they cut it out. And the director's cut, they leave it back in because it wasn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed
Anyway.
in Wonder Woman when she gives in
So-
and fucking fucks
yeah.
the guy in the boat. So upset.
So
She's allowed to
okay,
fuck a guy
I
in
was
a
gonna
boat,
bring
right?
I was
Shut
gonna
up.
bring up Wonder Woman. I was
Of course she is, but shut up. That's
I
not my
was gonna
point.
bring up Wonder Woman.
You know it.
Because I watched Wonder Woman and it didn't feel as forced.
Mm-hmm.
But what felt forced was the public response about just
I have a question for
Every-
you. When you say public, what gender are you talking about?
pretty much everybody. You know, but mostly what's the term? When a person goes, yeah, I'm really into this because they want to seem like a good person.
Yes, no,
yeah.
that can happen.
Yeah.
For sure that happens,
Yeah.
but I think that it's hard to describe a movie.
I felt when I watched the movie, I was like, that was a good movie. Everything was fine.
Well, it didn't
You know,
mean
I
anything
didn't-
more
yeah.
to you than that because
Yeah.
you haven't lived the experience of a woman
No, of course not.
in this country. So
And
how
definitely
could
not a
it
superhero, so.
And what felt empowering to me was seeing these women. First of all, the beginning of the movie is all women. That never happens. It's women for a while, really, like in their element, not needing men, being mentally and physically strong. And then she obviously is the lead in the movie. And what they're wearing is appropriate for battle. They're not wearing bikinis the entire movie when they're trying to fight things. There's a lot of stuff in that makes you feel, that made me feel strong and seen. Whereas most of the time, it never, even if it's intended, it's almost always through the male gaze, which is a whole other conversation. But movies generally are that way. even if it's intended for the woman to be a strong character, like we said before, it still has some kind of an edge where it's appealing to men in a sexualized way somehow. And I didn't feel that way because this movie was directed by a woman. I didn't feel that way. There was no like lagging. You know, she didn't need to be saved at any point. She didn't, which is why I was so disappointed that there was a love interest, because she denies him for so much of the movie. I get that it had to be there because it's how it was written and like it created a plot for more movies, but because she would have had nothing to avenge, right? But it was to feel represented in a way that was just empowering, I thought. And I think a lot of people had a lot of problems with that movie. Women, like feminists that I know, thought it was very problematic, and I don't really, probably because it was mostly white too. Like there's that whole other issue, but I loved it.
I just like watching movies.
Do you hear about the new thing with
it's good.
King
I like
Kong?
No.
King Kong and Broadway?
Oh yeah, we're like,
Maybe you haven't heard about that.
What happened?
Okay, so
pulling bits
Patrice
from other
O'Neill.
shows.
King Kong's on Broadway?
Yeah.
I never saw that.
It looks incredible.
Okay.
It's a giant like marionette thing. It's nuts.
Like
It
the
looks
Lion
really
King.
good. Yeah. So
They had a fucking 20-foot elephant walking up and down the aisles.
So now I need to just go back to Patrice O'Neill. He's a fantastic comic, and he had a really great bit when Peter Jackson came out with King Kong. King Kong is the most racist movie ever made.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
I've never seen King Kong.
Yeah, so King Kong is the whole premise of it is that these people crash on this island. They're looking for diamonds or gold or whatever, this undiscovered country. And there's only black people on the island.
Oh boy.
Right. But that in and of itself is not a big deal.
No, I'm waiting for what's bad about
so
it.
there's only black people on this island, but there's also dinosaurs and giant gorillas.
Okay.
Right? So now
One in particular.
Yeah. So they
That's
bring
especially giant.
Let me guess.
So the whole premise of
Don't ruin it.
So the whole premise of King Kong is that they're making a movie and they want to film it on this island that no one's ever found. It's very, very weak plot. It was written in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So they go there and the tribes.
King Kong came out in the 20s.
Yeah.
There's movies in the 20s?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
It's
horrible.
this
to
could be a good
Like
segue
Charlie
to
Chaplin
clay
stuff?
animation.
Really?
Good to bring it back around to Army of Darkness.
Oh.
So so it was a clay animation, King Kong, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So the whole thing is that every year the native people would sacrifice a young girl to this giant gorilla.
Okay.
Like 50-foot gorilla that lived on this island.
Like we used to do
They
in the good old
sacrifice a young
days.
girl. He
Fucking
takes
hate
her, he kills her, he eats her, whatever. I don't know.
Cool.
Then they capture these people who are doing a film, and there's a blonde white woman.
The people on the island capture the people making the film.
that are making the
Do
film.
The people making the movie
And they decide. No, they didn't know any of this was happening.
Okay.
Right. So they take this young white actress, blonde woman, and they sacrifice her to the giant ape.
Okay.
He falls in love with her and doesn't kill her.
The monkey.
Yes.
Ape?
Yes.
Oh, is that
He's
different?
not a monkey. There's a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
My nephew would be so mad at me for not knowing the difference.
So
he quizzes me sometimes. I'm like, I don't know.
So the inherent thing is that this basically lower creature falls in love with her because she's white and different.
Boo.
Yeah. So the gorilla represents a black person.
Boo.
Yeah. But it gets better. Gets better
Or
because now we
worse.
fast forward
definitely
100
better.
years almost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost 100 years. And they put it on Broadway.
Oh, like now. Okay.
Yeah, they put it on Broadway. They do the show. The show's happening.
It's like 75 years.
Yeah.
No,
What-
go ahead. Go ahead.
What time? When did it come out? It was
1933.
Yeah, so I was thinking it was 23.
All right,
That's
whatever.
what- yeah. So anyway,
Mhm.
so now they put it out, and now because the plot is inherently racist,
Mhm.
how can you replace the blonde woman with a black lead actress now?
Because part of the plot.
Because the island is full of black people, and the whole point of why he falls in love with her is because she's different.
Maybe they wanted that to not be the point.
I guess.
Maybe they
but
wanted
now,
it to just
but they
be
got to
that she's the
figure
one he
something
loved.
out.
That's easy. He just falls in love with her because she's the one he's supposed to love. Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
She doesn't have those giant bowls in her lips.
All right. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I don't approve of
What
that.
I'm saying is that they should have just gone, this is inherently racist and we shouldn't do it anymore.
I agree with that take,
Yeah.
or I agree with people I don't know.
Rewrite
I
the
don't know what I
fucking
agree with.
movie. It's from
Yeah,
1933.
you can figure
shit?
you can
You would
figure
have to
something
ask
out, but
people
they
of
didn't.
color. I
They
don't know.
just didn't. Exactly. That's. I would like to talk to
Because
someone.
if
like,
there were people
yeah.
of color who were like, hey, we actually would like to appropriate this story and make it our own, and they wrote, I mean, that's their option. But I think like maybe if a white person took this story,
Oh, I'm sure it was
made
a
it
white
acceptably
person.
not.
Well, it was probably
on
a Jewish
Broadway,
person. I don't
made
know if
it-
they identify as white or not, but you know.
made it acceptably
that's their
non-racist.
choice. I don't know.
But continue. The point is they're continuing to profit off it, which
Yeah.
is the issue.
Yeah.
So if white people are continuing to profit off an inherently racist story, no bueno.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where
They should
it's
have just
like,
stopped doing it.
So I weigh
agree.
250 pounds. Should I be cast as a 110-pound Jewish girl in a play? Probably not.
I think that's different.
I know it's different.
Depends
that's
on how
very
far you
hy-
want to stretch
it's
your
very,
acting
It's
abilities.
very hyperbolic.
Where are your limits?
It's very hyperbolic, but it's kind of like it's the whole reason that the fucking like Hooters, they call them performers, not waitresses, so they can skirt around the law.
Why
That's
is Hooters
bullshit
a
too.
thing? Why is Hooters a thing? Shouldn't be a thing.
It's not that good.
I've been there.
I've been there.
I mean, their
We used to
wings,
go
their
there.
wings are good.
We used to
but-
go there like when we were on business trips, building studios and everything. We'd actually go there and get stickers and put the sticker on the work truck.
Mhm.
So like Hooters, Illinois, Hooters, New York City, Hooters, Texas, whatever the hell,
It's
and just
classy.
put them all over the freaking truck,
Wow.
just to freak out the born again Christian that we worked with. It
Is that
bothered
the one that asked if you were best friends at work?
No, that was a different. That was a different guy. He was one of the accomplices.
Oh, okay.
One of my fellow accomplices. Let's watch King Kong in 1930, 1933. I mean, I don't want to do too much audio, but
This is
I don't have the audio.
Not
on.
much better than what I watched
See,
last
look,
night.
what?
It's about
talking
the
about?
same. It's about the same.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you have to
This
change.
is awesome.
Yeah, you have to change that initial narrative. Oh yeah, the soundtrack is so good. We're totally gonna get tagged for this.
I don't think so.
Oh, he's changing his mind. Mm-hmm.
All that I was trying
Oh, I
to
have a
say is like
question.
with this, like with this, it's like it's kind of
Hang on, I have a question.
sure.
What about her side of things? How does she feel?
As
falls in
an
love with
actress
her.
or a person?
No, as a character.
Oh, horrified. As all white women should feel horrified in 1933 when a person or animal who doesn't look like you falls in love with you. That's the whole point. He's supposed to be a black aggressor marrying a white woman. That's the narrative of this film.
Did you guys see Black Klansman?
No.
Is it good?
It's
It looked pretty good.
unreal. It's so good.
I saw the Free State of Jones.
I was thinking
last night.
about because they show I mean, it's not really giving much away, but toward the end they show this group of Klansmen and their wives are in this like room and they're viewing this film that's just horrifying. That's real. That was made, I think maybe a little bit earlier than this, but it was again a parody. This is the danger of like fucking parody, and it was just a sensationalized story of like a black man. It may have been that I think maybe that he had fallen in love with or was accused of like raping a white woman. And this movie was made to depict the town chasing and like hurting and killing these black people or this black guy, I forget. But it's all white people in blackface, and it's just this horrible, horrible movie. And all the Klansmen and their wives are like cheering and it's just really, really upsetting to watch. But it just reminded me of that. The movie reminded me of that movie that they were viewing, and they were saying that in real life the president when was Eisenhower president? Long time ago. So
I
it
haven't
may
taken
have been
social
him.
studies since 10th grade.
But
After World War II?
There was a president who found this movie this really happened and had a viewing of it at the White House and to like laugh at it. Yeah, and all these Klansmen were like, "We love that president. Let's also have a viewing," and they were like cheering. It was really upsetting. It was awful.
President of the United States from 1953 to 1961. So he took over
may have
for.
been him.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it may.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't want to sully his name if I'm wrong, but
I would say like
it was awful.
My whole point bringing this up is just like at what point do you just go maybe we should just not do it anymore because there's no way to spin that into something that's different.
Not racist. Right, unless, like
So,
I said, unless
and-
people of color choose to take it on and profit from
Yeah,
it
but
and
then
change
then
it.
at that point you need to flip the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them.
So
if they
because the
wanna do
whole point about it was that she looked different.
Right.
That's the whole point. It would be difficult to do without. I mean, they're conflating that. They're saying that black men are apes. That's what that movie is about.
It's not great.
And that was a common theme in the 30s and 40s and even into the 50s.
Yeah.
Or
Now, in
straight
some
through
states.
to when Obama
No,
was no longer president.
Yeah, let's not, or was president.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Calling him a monkey and shit like that.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, in this case, they were calling black people apes, which is different than a monkey, but, we already touched on that.
Birth of a Nation was the movie that they were watching.
Oh, okay.
And
What's
it
it
was
about?
Exactly what you said.
Oh, okay. So I thought.
And it was screened by President Wilson.
Oh, what year was that?
President Woodrow Wilson. So whenever he was in, it was like the early 1900s. It was a 1915 film, and Wilson was quoted to say that the film was like history written in lightning, whatever that means.
Yeah. Not
He was the
great.
28th president from 1913 to 1921.
Okay, so he screened
And
it.
a member of the Democratic Party.
God damn it.
That's when Democrats were like racist psychopaths.
Yeah.
And then they kind of flipped. When did they flip?
Not that long after that.
Because
50s, 40s.
When did they flip?
good old Abe, who's
He's a Republican, wasn't he?
stoically,
Well, he was originally a Whig Party.
stoically,
Which I'm gonna
holding
bring
up
back
your
the
cell
Whig
phone
Party.
with his face right now.
You would.
Yeah.
I don't even
Well,
know.
no, they were for abolishing slavery.
Sure.
They were for women's suffrage.
Okay.
So, that's just a start. I would need to look into it. But I was
It's
saying
not a bad start.
They
No, but I
definitely
had
were
a- I had
for
a-
legalization.
I had a rant on Facebook probably 8 or 9 years ago that I was
Yeah.
going to create the Neo Whig Party because it sounds really bad, but then if you look at it, it's
Neo anything political.
Yeah, I
is
know, it's
not-
scary.
Like, there's not many things you want to bring back.
Yeah.
Like from long enough ago that you can call it Neo and have it
I
be
know.
anything good.
Somebody,
But when Lincoln ran, we legitimately had a 3-party system. The Whig Party was pretty big, and
We have parties. We have the Green Party,
yeah, but
the
it's-
Working
but
Families
it's-
Party.
Yes, but it's still
They don't mean anything.
yeah. No, it's not that they don't mean anything.
They
They're
mean very
important.
little.
It's
Sure.
very important.
Sure.
And I
but-
wish more people would do what I do and not necessarily throw away their vote. But if you're going to vote for somebody who's a Democrat and they're also endorsed by the Working Families Party, vote in that box, not the Democrat box, because that ticks up the numbers for the third party. So you're still voting for the same person, but they're endorsed by that party. So you're voting for a third party, but it's just the Democratic vote.
I have a lot to say about voting.
Let's not get into that.
Let's not. Let's you and I not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd agree on a lot of it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I vote that we take a break
Yes, I have to pee really
so
bad.
I don't float away. As they
What
say.
time do you have to leave?
I don't know. 7, 15,
7:15?
7.
Oh, so
Yeah, we
we've,
can do
yeah,
that.
we've done an hour and we got plenty to
We've
come
done
back.
it. We did it.
We can also
We're doing it.
figure out other movies
Got a
and
couple
other
of
things
bits
like
to
that.
do.
We have keeping the bit ball in the air. iTunes isn't just not working for me. Up there it comes. Oh goody.
I mean, mine's up. Oh my god, I fucking hate iTunes so much.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go on there, I feel like an 80-year-old man. It's like, when did all of this change?
I don't use iTunes.
I don't know how to get to anything.
You sound like an 80-year-old man.
Okay, I found it.
That's part.
All right. Oh, what a coinky dink. I didn't do this. This is a complete coincidence. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some Shadow Witch, amongst other things. Quick shout out to Shadow Witch, our good friends. They found a new drummer, Scott Wadowski, otherwise known as Wad.
Great.
So
Good.
that's
Awesome.
It's written in the liner notes. What can or not liner notes, but on the from the Obelisk metal magazine. So congratulations to those guys. Hopefully,
And gals, they're all guys.
he might be scarier than Doug.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I miss Doug.
All right, so we're going to listen to some music and take a break, come back, regroup.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
Let me in and say, steam upon the glass. Yeah, Virgin's bed. She knows she must be dreaming. Oh, if I dream, she said, love could be like this.
Searching for symbols, letters, and time. Trying to find you, blinded with strife. Failing the keepers left at the gate. I'm dulling my senses. spiraling down, spinning out, losing control, leaving my soul.
Hi, I'm Andy Reid from Catskill Cabin Conversations on WGXE 90.7 FM. You're listening to Dead Radio Podcast. Enjoy. Do not fear.
Your computer is banned from the fucking show.
I don't know why. I
know why. I know why. I know exactly why. I'm gonna set up 2 different soundboards, one just for joiners, and we'll just
No, but I mean, even like, forget all the PC Mac nonsense. Just there's really nothing going on my computer to make it do that. So I'm just it's very confusing why it does that. You know what I mean?
Adam, I'm gonna get you a shirt that says "I know exactly why."
You
well,
don't.
I mean,
you don't.
I don't
you
know.
have no exact.
I don't know
idea
exactly.
Why it's
I don't know
doing that.
exactly why. No, but I know that
Said that.
it doesn't happen with this one.
I get it. I get that. Oh,
I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying we need to pivot.
No, I know.
Like the obvious solution is that you don't do those things anymore. So and
you got that. You got that joiner on your soundboard.
I don't have it. I don't have it on my soundboard right now, but I have it on my computer, and I could add it to my soundboard. We just need to do it. The only thing I have on my soundboard is the intro. But I used to have 2 different soundboards that had all of that stuff. When you spilled something on your I spilled beer on my computer, and then used it for a little while. Then got this computer, and then your computer died, so I gave you my old computer.
Just as a placeholder, whatever.
Yeah, so I have everything. I just would need to set it up.
Yeah,
I mean, I have the Church of Satan one.
It's the program itself and however it runs. I don't know, whatever. So because
you know what, I could add all those to my F keys.
Sorry about
Wow.
this. This is all nonsense.
I understood nothing.
Logistics on the air. Figuring out what to do.
That's twice in one show.
I can add them all to my F keys. I just need to get into like paying attention and doing that because I haven't had to do it for 3-4 years. Even before, I was like, let me do it. And then I got distracted because I was thinking about something else. I should look that up, actually.
Are we wishing Ozzy Osbourne a happy birthday or no?
Is he like 80?
Well, he's 70.
Huh. What would make you? What's the deciding factor here? That's what I want to know.
I mean, at this point, how can we not?
What makes him worth a happy birthday? I know nothing about him.
Well,
didn't he fuck up his life and didn't Sharon divorce him?
Yeah. Sharon divorced him this past year because he was cheating on her.
Boo!
Like you're 70 years old.
Boo! No happy birthdays. Unhappy birthday to you, sir. No, that's not fair. I hope he gets better and lives a better life. But I don't wish him happy birthday.
Whatever. I do. I have to. I have to. No, I have to wish him a happy birthday. He's he's the godfather of most of the music I listened to.
This is a whole different conversation that we could have.
Oh, it's just like Cosby though.
Separating
It's like
the
wishing
man from the art.
It's like wishing Bill Cosby.
It's like
happy
talking about
birthday.
Pablo Picasso without talking about the fact that he was a goddamn nightmare of a human being.
All right.
It's all intertwined.
All right.
You can't separate the two.
All right. I rescind my happy birthday.
Thank you.
You can go to hell, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Real quick, keep the bit train rolling.
Sabrina says hi. Radio?
Snack time.
Don't just stare at it, eat it.
Sabrina says hi.
Hi, Sabrina. How are you? Are you watching live? I think she is.
I don't know if she is. She said hi, so I'm saying hi.
So if you're just joining us, welcome. You just missed us going over a couple rants. Us going over Army of Darkness with Kathleen, who's seen it for the first time last night.
Yes.
See, I woke up this
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
That's funny.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but 2 things right now: Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
I have a question about this,
Sure.
because this is the first time I noticed it, actually, that line, other than the fact that this might be funny and confusing, was that it felt like it was in slow motion, the whole thing. Did you either of you get that?
Like it was underwater?
Yes.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it just, you know how
the pacing was strange.
Yes, it was like they just slowed it down enough to make me uncomfortable, to make me want it to go faster, and the whole thing was like that. It didn't seem like it was the acting, like he wasn't pausing too long. It just felt like the film was moving too slowly.
Yeah, it's like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's at least half an hour of compiled footage of just staring. Of just people staring into the camera with like some sort of
I'm going to make
emotion.
myself a shirt that says, I didn't see that. And Adam, I'll wear it when you have your shirt that says, I know exactly what's wrong. Is that, what did you say?
Yeah, that's it. I know exactly what's wrong.
I know exactly what the problem
That's
is.
a key
Well,
phrase.
I mean, in this situation,
If the shoe fits.
But I think I
walks
got
like a duck.
Oh, I have a question.
It's a
You guys.
PC.
Okay, I'm going to read you my notes really quick about this movie.
Sure.
Yeah, go.
Jumping and flipping forward into the pit, we talked about that. The scene with him in the cabin where he's dealing with 100 little versions of himself.
It was like 12, but sure.
Okay. 1,200. So
My question is, what happened to the rest of them?
that's an excellent question.
He only killed 2 of them.
He did, and where did they? Wait, something happened before that. Something was taunting him. Oh, the mirror, you couldn't even tell. So he looked in the mirror, and it was like his own reflection, but it looked slightly to the left or something, and I couldn't tell whether it was or wasn't his reflection. He freaked out and punched it.
Yeah.
There was no build-up. He just ran over and punched it.
I rewound that scene, actually, because so the evil is going through the forest, chasing him. Like that low camera angle.
Yeah.
That was a big theme in the first couple of movies, and they really did a great job in the remake. But that's the evil. It doesn't have a physical body.
But it's in the mirror.
Once you get into a safe place, it has to attack you psychologically. Right?
How do you know that?
That's just how
it
the
needs to
film
latch to you, and you need to let it in.
You need to let it possess you.
Is this true of all demons or just in this
No,
movie?
it's kind of in the genre.
Because I want to be on the lookout.
So the thing
well,
was,
next time we have a demonologist on the show, we'll bring you on.
He was like sitting down or whatever at that point, and his own reflection in the mirror was standing and looking directly at him.
And he was sitting?
I don't know if he was sitting, but he was across the room. So, and it was a perfect silhouette. So the thing in the mirror was not a reflection of him. It just manifested itself that way.
But agree with me
and he
that
took
it
off
was...
after it, thinking it was kind of like a doorway, or there was a person there.
Can you agree that
he
it wasn't enough?
He very awkwardly ran into the mirror.
And the reflection in the mirror wasn't different enough for you to even understand whether it was or wasn't his reflection. I didn't understand until after the... So what I also wrote... I just wrote on here, I can't follow this story. But that whole scene in the cabin was almost every single hijinks that occurs in Home Alone.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that part of it?
I don't think it's part of it.
I wrote this is Home Alone in nature. It was like every single way he hits his head, he slips, he steps on the tag, which is like the tack on the what's that called? Doorbell.
Yeah.
All of it. It was so funny. Okay, stupid, but if that was purposeful, that's genius.
It was meant to be very stupid. I don't know if it was meant to be like Home Alone, but
it was
did
exactly
it come out?
like
When did Home Alone come out?
92.
Same year?
Something like that. 92, 93.
Also, answer me this.
If it was the same year, it has to be just convergent ideology or convergent
1990.
Oh, then it came out well
been
before production.
Yeah. He jumps in the pit. He does jump. He does his somersault into the pit, and
really
is
stuck
down
on this
there.
pit.
Yes, because this is my introduction to how ridiculous this movie was. He's fighting with his hands, with his chainsaw. No, they throw him the chainsaw, but before that, he's just punching. He doesn't know how to get out. All of a sudden, he jumps out of the pit. He's got a fucking gun.
Yeah, they never show how he gets the gun back.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he using the gun in the pit?
Yeah,
because he didn't have it.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not have it.
He
in the
didn't.
Pit.
I was watching.
His shotgun scabbard was empty. They throw him the chainsaw. He gets out, and then they don't show him.
Gun.
They don't show him getting his shotgun back.
A little insight to the guy mind when we're watching action movies.
Oh, he also doesn't reload enough.
I wrote on here unlimited bullets.
Yeah.
Because he's like
he usually
hitting the trigger.
he usually fires
Where's
3.
He buying these bullets?
He usually fires 3 before you hear a clack. So later on, in the scene where he's eating the grapes that we were talking about, before he makes the mechanical hand, he fires 3 shots. No, that's the only scene where they show him reload.
Yeah.
He fires 1 and then reloads 2 shots, then fires 3 more. It's a double barrel shotgun. So yes, continuity issues.
He also shoots it like a machine gun at some point. It's like, where are you getting these bullets from?
Yeah, that was at the end.
At the end, but that's
lever action.
That's a lever action. So that could have been a lever action in a 45 where you'd have 13.
No, he described it. He described the gun completely. When he first gets it back, he doesn't. It's not a 45.
No. 22. Well, the second one at the end of the movie.
At the end of the movie, he gets thrown over the counter.
Gun.
He breaks.
When he's back in
totally different gun. In the future,
okay.
Yeah.
Be like how I was paying attention because I was.
Well, I mean, but you
Just
wouldn't.
say yes.
You
I like
wouldn't
how
know
you're paying
that.
attention. Give me one compliment, Adam.
Insight into the guy mind when we're watching action movies, though. It's
the
like
double barrel shotgun that he's carrying around is a Remington double barrel S-Mart's top of the line.
Yeah.
12 gauge shotgun. The one at the end of the movie is either a Winchester or Henry repeating rifle. So that in 45 could have 13 shots.
Okay, like a mental patient. I actually will count bullets.
Mhm.
Like in
Like a mental.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid at the end when they're firing.
Mhm.
You know, I think they each have a 6-shooter. The funny thing is the chances of them having that's details. Never mind.
Should be
There
5.
should be 5, not 6 per gun. But anyway, they end up shooting like 15 or 16 shots a piece before they reload at the end. So it's just like I'm paying attention to that shit. So the entire time he's in the pit fighting, I'm like, where's that? I'm like, I know he gets the shotgun very soon. Like as soon as he gets out of his pit, he's gonna have the shotgun. He doesn't have the shotgun right now.
It's something that happens
But
off
he jumps
camera.
out of pit. I'm like, where the fuck didn't you use the gun against the demons? You're punching them in the
Yeah,
face.
he definitely didn't have it in the pit. At some point off camera, he gets the gun, which
They
I think,
don't-
no, it's a continuity mistake.
Yeah, it's a full
I think
mistake.
I think at some point it was filmed that he picked it up and they cut it, or
Well,
they forgot to film it, or
They
something.
forgot to
Comes
Yeah.
out of the pit, he
Yeah.
angrily walks over to the guy who's holding all his shit and just grabs
Yeah.
the gun.
Yeah.
Fires at
Yeah,
something.
because-
That would have made sense.
Anything.
Oh,
right.
another thing that I noticed. Okay, when he goes sword boy, and he gets his sword and he kicks the guy over.
Yeah.
He's got these 2 little umbrellas that are just hanging by his armpits.
Who
I'm
does?
serious. The guy in the armor. They look like satellite dishes. They're about this big, and they just hang in front of his armpits.
Oh, maybe it's to prevent his armpit from
Oh,
getting
but why
stuck.
would they be hanging?
Because they got unclipped.
They're like
Well-
hanging by a string.
I don't know. Yeah,
remember this.
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Hey, I have another one.
Uh-huh.
When he at one point he literally he scrapes his own face off of like a radiator.
Oh yeah. He can't pull it off, but he gets the
needs to scrape it
spatula,
up, right.
and it's not a spatula.
It's a shovel.
It's a shovel from a fucking fireplace
right.
that's hanging up on
right.
the wall.
So that
Get
happens.
down!
Many. Come here, baby. Oh my goodness, hello, baby. So a lot of things happen in this guy's face, yet he maintains the same 4 cuts the entire movie.
His face would be so severely burned.
It was
after
the
that. Yeah.
same amount, and he gets punched, he gets stabbed, he jumps, he's in my favorite pit. He's doing all kinds of things to his face, and he gets hit in the head. There's no lumps, there's no bruises, there's no nothing. But he's got these 4 cuts that never scab.
Can you pull me up over here?
They never heal. And I thought maybe that was intentional. Maybe that was funny.
When he got his face burned, I was like, oh, I don't remember his face being burned in this movie, and then it just wasn't.
Because it full wasn't. The only other funny part, other than when he first meets that guy, is when he says the wrong words. When he's grabbing the book.
Oh yeah, do you know that reference?
I laughed out loud.
Do you know-
Oh no, I didn't.
Of course you don't.
Oh, but I thought it was funny still. Do I get points for that? Yes.
So
I do.
The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah,
yeah, the giant robot that's about to destroy the Earth. His name is Klaatu, and as the alien is dying, spoiler alert, I think this movie came out in like the 40s, probably 50s.
Okay.
As the alien is dying, he tells the girl to go to stop the robot to go to Central Park and say Klaatu Verata Nikto.
Oh.
And that's what stops the robot from destroying the world.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced robot.
Robot. All right. So
Check out these
what are
guys.
these?
This guy's hangy fucking satellite dish nipples.
They're like his shoulder pads. What are those?
But let's just we'll just watch the whole scene.
Stupid face.
So
I
I'm
hate
not going to
this
do
guy.
it. Yeah. So his stupid face.
I hate it.
And he goes, "Sword boy." No, I turned the volume off.
Oh.
Kicks the guy over, and look, they're not attached to anything.
Oh, it was over and ended.
Yeah.
Fucking puts it-
Look at him.
How can you
Look, they're not
Okay, so they
attached to
fell.
anything.
They fell.
And
One
then
more
they're
time,
on-
one more time,
They're
one more time.
on other. They're on other bits of armor that you see throughout the movie.
They
I'm
just
like, what the
aren't
fuck
clipped,
are
like-
they? They're like little armpit umbrellas.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
I think they're just meant to be fancy to show he's the king.
But he's not the king.
Yeah, he is.
That guy wasn't the king.
He was the king.
That's the
Was
king.
he?
Yeah.
That was the king.
He
What
was
was
good
his name?
looking. He had weird hair.
King.
Yeah, he had a really
He had
bad
a very
mullet.
Oh,
flat,
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
flat.
He had
mullet.
like a
bangs.
mullet that you do yourself.
Yeah, he like flat ironed his mullet.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Yeah, it bangs.
He had a good face though. I liked his face.
He had a good face.
I liked his face.
We stepped on it before, and I've been about to repulse Kathleen over here.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Dead.
Radio?
Snack time.
Don't just stare at it, eat it.
So for the past 3 weeks, we've been trying out a new bit. It's 3 or 4 at this
It's
point.
4 weeks
It's
now.
4 weeks now.
Yeah.
We've been doing Dead Radio Snack Time, and Adam, to keep it going, brought me venison.
I was going to bring jerky, but my recipe didn't work out. If I had time today, I was going to bring you some seitan, but I didn't have time to make it. So I will make you seitan.
Thank you.
To make up for you watching him eat.
It's more
venison
hearing it.
backstraps.
I'm hearing it in my brain in a deep way. It's deep into my brain. Here's a question.
Really good.
That's the first time I've ever made venison, so thank
How
you.
did you make it?
Well, I butchered it, and then
Like you do.
I brined it in some teriyaki sauce, which, as it turns out, Kikkoman teriyaki is gluten-free. Their soy sauce is not.
Yes.
But, so I just marinated in some teriyaki and cooked
that
it to
raw?
medium. No, it's medium rare.
It sounded raw when you were slurping on it.
I can do banana noises. Have you ever heard banana noises?
No.
It's a staple on the show.
So gross. Why did you call it banana noises?
Because it
sounds
tastes
when
like
you eat a banana?
it sounds like you're eating a banana.
Yeah, you're very right. I'm just wondering how you came to that conclusion. It's spot on.
I don't like bananas. I just know that
For
that's
that
what they
reason.
sound like.
You're right about it.
Well,
Let's all do it in
so
unison.
so that is
The chorus, banana chorus.
venison backstrap that my dad's friend Johnny shot, and we butchered it. And I marinated it in teriyaki sauce, and then did a reverse sear to medium rare. It's good.
Reverse sear? How does that work?
You bake it first, and then you sear.
Oh,
it.
then you sear it.
Yeah, you cook it to like just below rare, like just before it's safe to eat, and then you
What's
throw
your
it in a cast iron.
1 to 10? What's your conclusion?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I said 1 to 10.
I'll go 7 on the scale of venison that I've eaten.
Just out
I
of
mean,
curiosity.
it's leftover too. I mean, if you took it right out of the oven, you get a point out of that.
What's a 10 for you?
10?
Food wise, I don't give a shit about venison, but food wise.
Food wise?
Fried bread.
Oh yeah, yeah. At this point, deep fried bread with a big ass beer.
If you could have it, yeah.
10 for me. I'm trying to think of like the one of the best meals I've ever had that always sticks in my brain is the cassoulet that I had at Leal in New York City. It was Anthony Bourdain's restaurant.
Oh.
It wasn't his restaurant. He worked there for a long number of years, and I had the cassoulet, which is a traditional French peasant dish.
It was more bougie than I expected, but I appreciate it.
It's actually not bougie. It's like I said, it's
your
a peasant
your
dish. It's a
answer
stew.
was was bougie.
Yeah, so that would be.
It was
a
in
10.
New York City.
That would be a 10.
Cool. Adam, what's yours?
That's tough.
Or just like one of them.
Pierogies.
Ooh, that's a good
pierogies.
answer.
Yeah, my mom's pierogies, which I still have the recipe and still make. And
She made them from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're I mean, you can have them, but they're
I don't know,
it's a farmer's cheese with cinnamon and sugar with a house-made pasta. Well, house-made. I'm like talking like I'm in a restaurant. I made it in my house.
House-made, yeah. You're in my house-made.
Yeah. So that would probably be number 1. Like last meal, it would be my mom's pierogies for sure. Just fried in butter.
Okay, so now we're talking last meal.
I think mine would be just the greasiest, cheesiest pizza on the earth. Just an entire pizza.
So not
go
vegan.
You'd fucking go
last
all the way
meal?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. No meat. I've never wanted meat since the day I stopped eating it. But yeah.
But just not.
I would go
not,
full and hope that I would die.
Okay,
before I shit my pants.
So if you are ever on death row,
make a good story for the
I
show.
will bring you a pizza and my mom's pierogies.
Oh,
they are vegetarian.
I'll put the pierogies on the pizza.
Yeah.
And go
Pierogi
crazy.
Pizza. Oh,
go to town. Have you guys ever had macaroni and cheese pizza?
Yeah.
Oof. Or like mashed potato pizza?
I haven't had mashed potato pizza.
It's not really a pizza. It's more mashed potatoes in a pie crust, and it's delicious.
So that sounds. I would imagine that being really good in like a Chicago deep dish.
That's
kind of
exactly
pizza.
how you have it.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
how
kind of
you
like a
gotta do
pizza casserole.
Yep, and you bake it so the top's just the tiniest bit crispy, and you put like shallots and oof.
Even
so good.
BC, I never understood putting carbs on top of carbs.
What?
Like carbs on top of like
you don't understand
ziti
that?
pie Like there would used to be like baked ziti pizza.
It's the most
Baked
delicious
ziti
thing.
pizza, I don't think.
Or like
I'd be into.
potato.
but
so good.
but like a mac
Like
and cheese
potato and
pizza?
egg on a hoagie, like that's like an Italian thing. Like potatoes and eggs, eggs and peppers. I'm like potatoes on bread. That's fucking insane.
That sounds amazing. I love carbs so
Well-
much.
I do too, but I don't love
So
them
do
that
I.
much.
Well,
apparently,
I think we've
pizza,
talked
like
we've
scalloped
talked
potato.
about this a bunch of times.
Jesus Christ,
I used
like,
to
no
I
way.
used to vegetarian once a year. I tried vegan once, and I was very jaundiced, so I was missing something.
Sure.
But I did. I still do it. I haven't. I did it this year, but I'm probably due. Actually, I should probably do it after my birthday again because that's when I did it last year. So do vegetarian, and I would constantly do. He's like
Hiding it, a little gremlin.
But I would do like a buffalo seitan sub. Yes. That was so good. Yeah.
Love that. Oh, it's
But it needs.
fucking
I mean, it
sugar.
kind of
Thank
needs cheese.
It doesn't need cheese.
It
But
doesn't need
if I'm on
cheese.
death row, I'm
Well,
piling
okay,
cheese.
so
yeah.
if you wanted to do a vegan version of that, I would do coconut oil based buffalo sauce.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Or just
So-
vegan butter. I don't know about coconut oil. Maybe it's sweet. I'm sure it'd be delicious.
Yeah.
But I've made it.
Oh,
with,
it
like,
is
vegan
definitely sweeter.
butter,
Yeah.
and it's great. And then vegan cheese isn't the worst. On something like that, it's fine. If you're making it in like an Italian dish, it's not. In
You
my
can tell the
experience,
difference.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
made like a tofu ricotta that's pretty good. But if you're buying like the mozzarella that you buy, just the fake shit, it's not getting you far. It can't be the star of the show. It can be, a little.
So is it the factory farming thing that keeps you away from cheese?
Sometimes I don't know. Okay, the real answer, you want the truth?
Sure.
The truth is I hadn't had meat.
I don't like to be lied to.
I hadn't had
Kathleen.
meat in a long time. And then my sister said and I had tried. And I used to try to go vegan. And the most I ever did was like maybe like a month at a time. But then I'd always get drunk and eat pizza. So my sister was like, I'm going vegan. And I thought, oh, she's going to get so skinny and fit and healthy. I need to do it too.
That bitch.
So I said I would do it. And I had been thinking about it. And I did learn that animals who aren't slaughtered in a factory farm, the females that aren't slaughtered are just brought to be dairy cows. And those cows are inseminated their entire lives and their babies are ripped away and blah, blah, blah. So I learned all this stuff and was like, I had been learning it over time. And I just kept feeling more guilty and more guilty. And then, so then my sister was going to do it. So then we start going vegan kind of together. And then after like a week, she gives up. But I met my ex-husband in that same time frame, and he was vegetarian trying to go vegan. So we end up just like doing it together. And since then,
that's not a good.
That's the story.
But what I'm
the
saying
truth.
is just you meet a new person.
Oh, I was very ill.
I know.
So I'll give
like
you
I
that.
and I kind of know the
No,
story a little bit.
It
I'm
wasn't
just,
a good
yeah.
reason.
I'm just. It's like.
But it made sense to me though.
It's like when you meet some, and this I can't identify with, but you shouldn't associate with people that you meet in rehab necessarily because you're both on the same journey.
No, not just necessarily ever.
It's against the rules, right? It's just like
it's frowned upon. I've never been to rehab.
It's kind of like if I were single, let's say, and I was going to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting and I'm trying to lose weight and I meet someone there, like it can only be toxic from there.
Yeah. Well, that's if you have like an issue to a clinical degree. Neither one of us had that. We just both happened to be wanting to go vegan at the same time. We had other issues for other reasons we shouldn't have been together. But this one I don't think was one of them. I just felt then all of a sudden like I had a partner in this, and so it was easier to do. And then we just kind of built a life. We're both vegan. I don't know. It just was like easier to do with someone. It just worked out, and it made sense. And the more I learned, the more it felt good that I wasn't consuming that stuff anymore. But I've never once wanted or thought about eating meat once, and I went vegetarian like over 10 years ago. But I think about butter.
Yeah,
cheese.
so vegan is hard. And
it's hard.
And I can identify with that because, like I said, I would, it's 1/12 of the time for the last 5 years. So it's not even anything like what you're dealing with. I'm not trying to.
Well,
but
it gets
the
easier.
one
I'm not
the
really
one
dealing
month
with
that
it
I did vegan, I was sick. I was not in good shape. I needed to see a nutritionist to figure out what was going on.
I've heard that.
So
different diets. I mean, it is what it is. It's for different people.
And I would go vegetarian, and to be honest, I would gain weight when I was vegetarian.
That happened to me when I went
Yeah.
vegan. I was like,
Yeah.
I can have potatoes and Oreos and peanut butter and
Yeah.
chips, no problem. And that's all I ate. And I was like, oh, shit.
One thing I noticed is
good.
that it's way cheaper, and that's great. But you
Not
eat,
necessarily.
Like, I just think that for what I was eating, I guess
If you make, I had to learn how to cook when I went vegan, which was a bonus because now I really like to cook. I love it
so
now.
much.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but I was like, oh, I really got to learn what I'm eating. Like I couldn't go out like I could before. And when you learn how to make food and you make a lot of it from scratch, you do save money. But if you don't, it can get really expensive.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't know how to, yeah.
If you're buying all like prepped
yeah, if
food
you go to
and, like,
Adams
fake
and get
meats
prepped
and like fake
fucking
cheese, yeah, it's
no, you
crazy
can't do it.
expensive.
I mean, you look at seitan, for instance. Anybody who buys seitan is a dumb fuck.
I have purchased seitan.
Well, you are dumb.
So
and you need. I'll give you my recipe.
That's
It's
not
so
nice.
easy.
You've made it for me and it's great,
Yeah.
but sometimes I'm tired.
But you can make
And
it.
sometimes your girl just
you can
wants to buy
seriously,
her seitan.
You can seriously make it. It takes an hour out of your day, and it's good for 6 weeks.
I don't have an hour, man.
You definitely have an hour carved out in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I do. But
Yeah.
sometimes I
Don't
don't
lie.
want to use it to make seitan.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to fill that hour with nonsense. It's nonsense. It's fucking nonsense. You can buy it.
No, you just.
Sometimes I feel that
Okay.
way. I do. Sometimes I
Okay,
feel
when it comes to seitan, you're talking a 5,000% markup.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
You can buy it though.
I know. I know you can buy it. That's.
It's not completely insane that somebody
it's not
doesn't
completely
make
it's
seitan.
not completely insane to buy it sometimes. But what I'm saying
But
is,
I think you can make that argument about anything that's quote unquote easy to make. Like you can make your own coconut butter. You can make your own almond milk. You can. I know how to do all these
I
things.
think this got off the rails. It really did.
But it's
because what I'm
exhausting.
trying to say is
You can't just end the argument because you're losing.
No. I'm saying that you can go and buy the ingredients to buy seitan at probably 1/1000th of the price. So if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to spend an hour to save yourself hundreds of dollars.
How much seitan do you think I'm buying? First of all,
right?
What I'm saying
have
is if
seitan.
you buy
Secondly-
one Bob's Red Mill bag of wheat gluten, which I know that you can't have.
your cabinets are full of it. Fosh.
Yeah. You buy one thing of that, that's enough protein for 2 weeks for the average person. If you parse it out, I mean, I make seitan 10 times a year and it only takes an hour and I get enough leftovers for like a week and a half. So I'm just saying protein versus time versus money. Like you go to work for an hour, you make what, $12? Take it home.
I hate
I'm
this
just saying.
conversation.
I do too. It's just like
I'm
I
sorry.
like fucking like
I hate
I don't I don't put things in that category.
Because
That's
you-
why that's why
so-
you and I
so what
always
I'm-
like clash
okay,
on
so what
things
I'm-
like this.
yeah,
is
what
because
I'm
I don't
saying
like
is-
I don't
what-
measure time the
Okay.
way you measure
Okay,
time.
let's talk about you going to the store and going to get groceries.
Wait, but again, hold on. I'm going to interrupt because you can make this argument about almost anything. Bread.
Sure.
Same argument. You could
Bread takes way longer.
not if you like
Oh,
making
it's
bread. It doesn't
10
take
times
that
longer.
much.
It's 10 times
It's
longer.
not 10 times
Oh,
longer
it's
to make
absolutely
bread.
10 times longer.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely 10 times longer. I do both.
All right, new.
It's absolutely 10 times
almond
longer.
milk.
Oh, almond
very
milk.
easy to make.
Almond milk is
Is
very yeah.
Yes, it's very easy.
Yeah,
and
but
it
you
would
shouldn't
last
you
you a long
shouldn't
time.
you shouldn't have almond milk 'cause it's bad for the environment.
Oh my god, I know. But I have
See what I
to
mean?
eat.
You're just like keep
I'm-
spiraling
No,
down
okay,
the
what
fucking
I'm-
hole.
what I'm
That's
saying-
why I give up.
I'm thirsty and I'm tired.
Do you like
I'm
that?
drinking almond
Do you
milk
like
and
that
buying
meat right
seitan.
there? That was 50 times the work of making seitan.
Sure, I know. You know I know.
I know you know. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but I
Hey,
feel like I'm being attacked and I'm being backed into a corner
And
over
his-
my seitan.
And his male ego is
Sei-
very
no,
fragile.
like
it's fragile.
to make seitan.
I'm just tired of hearing the word
okay,
seitan.
So
you guys-
seitan versus tofu.
Do you guys
I
watch
would
Making
never
a Murder?
fucking make tofu at home. I would never make tofu
No
at
one
home.
would ever make tofu at
Yeah.
home.
Because it's really hard. Making seitan
ridiculous.
is really easy and it's very cost effective. And if you're vegan, it's a really great source of protein.
If I make it, will you stop yelling at me?
No, do you want to
He
just
said
buy
no.
it
He
for
was
me?
gonna say no.
No.
No, I want
No,
you to
I
make
will
me
not.
some because you're my friend and you know how tired I am. And I'd like you to make me some of the seitan that you're making all the goddamn time for $2 a year or whatever. Throw some my way.
It probably is
Stop
$2
yelling at
a
me.
year.
Do you guys watch Making a Murderer?
No, but I want to. I really want to.
Please don't sigh. Please do it.
I
No, I
just
really
don't
wanna
like
watch it.
watching bummers. Like
It's
I don't
not
like
a
to be
bummer.
bummed
It's
out.
not a bummer. It takes you on
Making a murderer does
It's
sounds
not a
to me
bummer.
like
No,
a
I've heard
bummer.
it's so
no,
good.
it is so. You
Have
would
you,
like it.
Have you watched The Staircase?
No.
Watch that, and I'll watch Making a Murderer.
Okay.
Do it.
Tradesies. Do it.
Oh my
Watch
God.
It's so good. In the second season, my new idol is on that, and her name's Kathleen. She's amazing, and she's an attorney, and I want to be her. I love her. You got to watch it.
You got
It's
the
so
name,
good.
so
Yeah, nice and easy transition.
halfway there.
So basically, I'm her, is what I'm saying. I'm basically a post-conviction attorney. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I don't even know what that is.
I didn't know either. You got to watch the show, man.
I'd like you.
I'm excited to watch it.
You
I
gotta
just
watch
haven't.
it.
I
You'll
just
like
haven't watched it.
It's a thinker. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, Tom
It's worth
Segura likes it.
discussing.
He's a psychopath, so
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
he's a comedian that really likes murder shows.
I think everyone likes murder shows because every time you have the conversation where you're like, serial killers are so interesting, I'm so weird. Everyone that you ever talk to about it is like, oh my God, me too. Like no one's weird for liking serial
There's
killers.
a show called Mindhunters on Netflix.
keep
they only did
talking about
I've
one
heard about this.
season. There's only one season of it, and I was so intrigued by it because it's
Everyone is.
about the
It's
FBI's first foray into psychoanalyzing serial killers.
Love it.
And so it's the ground floor of what they're doing.
Yeah.
The show kind of falls apart a little bit because like most shows, he's got, the main characters have personal lives, and their personal lives are affected because they're so dedicated to their job, and that always
That whole
throws
Law
me
and Order
because
thing. It's always.
I'm just
yeah,
bored.
it's
I
so
always get
lame.
really bored with the
Well,
fact
so
that my
is this
wife
like
hates what I'm so good at what I do, but my wife
I
hates
know.
it.
Is this a drama based on
I'm gonna end up
that?
quitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's based on actual recorded conversations with serial killers
Okay.
in the
So
1970s.
it's a dramatized version of real stuff. Okay.
Every human being
So,
is intrigued by
but
this. I'm telling you, it's
the,
fascinating.
Yeah.
The show that you're talking about is that it's more documentary style.
It is
right?
a documentary. It's a real thing
Yeah.
that's happening.
but
That's
it's
happening.
also like about it's also about like
It's not actually about a killer. That's the best part. It's called Making a Murderer, but it's not about any type of murderer.
It's
about
the
them
system,
the
how it
system
failed
of
the
yeah,
person.
the law,
Yeah.
the
Which
system of law.
sounds so boring, but
so
it's not.
The Staircase is the opposite of that. It's about a person that's definitely a murderer.
That's full on a murderer.
Hooah.
Is it a documentary or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It is unprecedented access.
I'm gonna
to
watch
a guy.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, I can watch it.
This guy, I feel like he definitely murdered his wife.
I want to watch this.
Spoiler alert, that was my thought right from the beginning, and nothing to
Nothing's
the end
contradicted that.
convinced me otherwise. And I don't want to give anything away, but that's been my feeling the whole fucking time.
Do you know that
and
the
this
number
follows,
one cause of death for pregnant women is matricide? I just thought I'd pop that in there.
Really?
Number
I
one
didn't know
cause
that,
in
yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Number one, husbands killing them. Just so you know. Anyway, go ahead. He killed his wife. I don't doubt it. 'cause
Tired
I
of
get-
hearing their
Yeah.
complaining.
So she wasn't.
I fucking hate you so much. I'm gonna
So-
break all your stuff.
So this
I'm
is
gonna steal your
just
puppy.
a very, very brief
I'm gonna
synopsis.
get you. You're fired.
This is called The Staircase.
Okay.
Hey, you might be able.
Woman
to
dies
you're
at the
fucking
bottom of the
fired.
staircase. There's blood everywhere. It really looks like a murder.
Sounds intimate.
And there's interesting theories on either side, both of which seem kind of plausible and
It takes you on a
yeah.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, basically the guy who was accused just hired a film crew and they followed him around for no, he didn't really hire them. He said you can document things. He didn't
Oh.
pay them.
Oh, I was like.
So they were
Feels
working
like
with
a
the
guilty.
prosecution and him for like 25 fucking years.
What?
God damn. No, it was like 13 years.
Was he
something like-
charged?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He spent a long time in prison.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away.
Yeah, I'm gonna
what-
watch it.
Yeah. It's so fucking good.
Okay.
So thank you, Tom Segura, for being into murdery
Who's
things.
that again?
He's
Oh, it's a comedian. Got it.
yeah, yeah. He is a,
Does he have a beard?
fantastic.
He
yes.
does.
Yeah, I think I know who this
He's
is.
like me but famous.
His
He
wife
looks
is
like
also
me,
a
but
comedian.
famous.
Okay.
Christina P. She had a special on Netflix.
And they have
too.
a really great podcast called Your Mom's House Podcast.
Cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it.
I
though.
figured
Don't-
I wouldn't,
don't
which
check
is
it
why
out.
I just said cool. I
You
won't.
wouldn't like it at
I
all.
wasn't gonna.
All right.
My favorite thing is saying like outlandish shit to get her to get a reaction from
My favorite thing that we
And
my
you think that I would have
my
learned
favorite
by now, but I'm a
my
child.
favorite
That's
interaction.
my favorite
I'm a
thing.
child, and I
To
just
say
emote. I
ridiculous
just
shit
emote
like-
reactively because I can't not.
Kathleen.
And you think that I would be able to see past it, but I can't, which is why I'm a hoot.
So first and foremost, do you remember the Christmas party? It was like a year or two ago
I
or
did
whatever.
The one that I fucking planned. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
it.
when it was like, so Kathleen's gonna move to the mall, and everyone,
I
and
loved
you
that.
felt really happy. Like that was a legit emotional response for me because I was sad and I have missed you.
Mhm.
And the other day when we worked together and you couldn't open that cabinet,
Again?
I missed that so.
I have hard time.
much.
I have
Not
hard
just
time saying-
again,
But I seriously,
still, always.
just went like, oh, I've missed it.
He said that too. He's like, I've missed this. I was like, get the fuck you.
I did it
And then
too.
she did it 6 or 7 more times.
I still
that day. She-
no. This is the best part of this whole, and I gotta go. So I'm gonna end this. The best thing that happened
shit, I
that day
didn't
was
see the
Tanner
time.
walked by as I'm struggling, as I've been struggling for like a year and a half with this cabinet. He walks by and so candidly, so casually goes, "Oh, you gotta lift it up a little bit first." And I was like, "Are you
Everyone
fucking
has
kidding
told her
me?"
that.
Everyone has told me 100 times. I've done this 100,000. He walked by like he had never seen me struggle with it before. He's like, "Oh, you gotta lift that up." I was like, "I'm gonna kill you." I fucking know that.
I have trouble with it too once in a while.
Thank
Yeah.
And I was like
Well,
hanging
it
off
does,
of it.
but
I was like hanging off it one time. I'm like, yeah, she wasn't joking. This fucking thing gets stuck sometimes.
It's hard. It's tricky.
it's just like one of those magnetic latches in a cabinet.
It's not. It's more than that.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're gonna go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
You gotta get to a meeting.
Yep.
So the
Well-
only title we have is fucking Sheila.
Or I also
That
have
could be
my
misconstrued.
I have my favorite pit.
I want to go with fucking Sheila.
They both sound like inappropriate.
I like my favorite pit. I don't know why.
We could flip a coin.
Because I know fucking Sheila sounds a little rough, and I can't put that on YouTube. I gotta
That's
like,
true.
I gotta do the starry thing.
All right.
But my favorite pit was an offhanded thing that she said.
It's pretty good.
We'll
You're
go with that.
welcome for those
Hashtag fucking Sheila is okay though.
There you go.
It's definitely not a name that existed in the 1300s.
No, it's not. None of that
it's
shit
just
existed
silly.
in the 1300s.
Mechanical hand.
Yeah, none of the cut. None of it.
I mean,
A book
even
made
the
out of
even the catapults
a,
weren't.
a book made out of
correct.
skin and
Would have
blood.
been they would have been trebuchets.
That was in the 1300s. In my imagination, the 1300s are just full of books made of
Made
skin
out
and
of
blood.
skin? I wonder if
And
there
blood.
is
and
a lot of
the, and the
books.
plague. Like
Yeah.
that's all that there
Yeah.
was in the 1300s.
I mean, there weren't catapults. That's the thing. They were trebuchets.
I was literally just gonna say that. I don't
Yeah.
know why that word is in my head. My brother's really into history. That's probably
Yeah,
why.
yeah. The catapult wasn't invented until the 1500s.
Holy shit! Check this out. Anthropomorphic. Anthropodermic.
Podermic.
Skin. That's what that means.
Bibliopegy.
Biblioteca?
Yeah. Anthropodermic bibliopegy is the practice of binding books in human skin. As of April 2016, the Anthropodermic Book Project has identified 47 alleged anthropodermic books in the world's libraries and museums. Of those, 30 books have been tested or are in the process of being tested.
Nice.
So
So that's a real fucking thing.
Wow. Okay.
Fun.
Thank you for
Bound
that.
in human flesh and inked in blood.
Lean,
Yeah.
thank you for your sacrifice.
Thank
We
you.
had a wonderful time.
Me too. You guys are the best.
We
Thanks for having me.
What's the next movie again?
I'm so glad we've been friends for a year. I had to get that in. Neither one of you wanted to talk about it, but it's been a whole year.
Yeah, it's just-
and I appreciate you both.
You
Emotions are
abandoned
funny
us and
with
went
me.
to the mall.
Listen, I gotta eat. All right. So
So why'd you go to the mall?
Yeah, how many vegan options they have in that
Money.
fucking food court?
money is what I'm saying. More
Next
money.
movie, I don't know. My vote's The Predator.
Yeah. The
don't
first,
wanna
yeah, the
watch
first
that.
one.
But Beetlejuice.
Can we make it more obscure than that?
I kinda
but
like-
you know what? People have to be like excited.
You've
about
never
it.
seen Beetlejuice.
I mean, honestly,
No,
if we
never
want,
seen
if we wanted to stick with the time travel thing, I have so many obscure things. Primer is my next
But
one.
does anybody care about obscure
No.
movies?
No.
This isn't about anyone but the 3 people in this
Oh,
room.
Okay,
Alien.
cool. Then
Alien.
Let's do it obscure.
Alien.
one.
No, fuck everything. You're gonna watch Alien.
Alien is a solid one.
Is
Yeah.
it scary?
It's scary.
It's very scary,
It's
but it is
slow.
such. I mean, seriously,
Can we watch it
the
together? I don't
strongest.
like watching
yeah, let's
movies
do it.
alone.
The strongest
Fun movie
female lead of any movie I can fucking think of.
Well, I'll let you know if that's true.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, we can watch together.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it alone.
I'll
All right.
come over for
So
movie
let's
night.
we'll set up a couple of months from now. We will watch the movie and then go right into the podcast.
Oh, that might be a good one.
Fresh.
Big. I don't know. Sometimes I need to reflect after movies. I need
You've
time
seen
to
that movie
reflect.
30
I hate
fucking
you so
times.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, geez, you're just leaving? All right. Thank you, Lean, for coming. Sorry for keeping you so long. We started early and we're supposed to end early, but we still ended up doing a 2-hour podcast because Kathleen, like us, is a wordsmith.
Wordsmith.
Some wordsmith. Yeah, so thanks.
Next week.
Next week, what are we doing?
Salt Point Meadery.
Ooh.
Yeah. They got some new stuff.
Three-peat.
New stuff with, I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name of it.
We have no
because they
idea.
had to change it.
Oh, last
Yeah.
I heard was Cornerstone.
Sure.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's
I don't want to
official.
speak out of turn. So next week, Salt Point Meadery, and then
Pitch Black, those fuckers.
Haven't heard back.
God
But
damn
I'm
it.
gonna work it out. It's fine.
Well,
yeah. So we're still working on our Christmas episode. That's probably going to be streaming live on a Friday, and then go up for download on Christmas Eve or day.
Oh, and good news, my new robe just shipped from Amazon.
Mhm.
So I should have
good.
it. I should
I
have
also
it by
do
Wednesday.
have an update on the Brentwood Home Bamboo Gel 13.
Real quick?
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's not covered under warranty at all.
Yeah, I knew that. They only got like a year or something like that.
No, 25 years, as they advertised. But they don't warranty firmness.
Is that an actual thing they said?
Yep. Yeah. So
I want to
now,
see the contract.
yeah, Amy and I have terrible, terrible back issues because of the Brentwood Home Bamboo Gel 13, available on Amazon for $400 and something.
I have nothing but good reviews for it.
Yep. So about 10% of people deal with what I'm dealing with right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't buy that fucking mattress. You have a 1 out of 10 chance of getting fucked.
It's one of those things where you get the cheap like tool,
Yeah.
and you have it for like 30 years
Dude,
because you
it
just
has-
got it when
it has
like the
4
temperature
star-
and the heat of the casting and the metal was like just perfect.
Dude, they're pretty smart because they have, 4-star reviews, 3,000 ratings, but all of those people have gone, this is great, like the first 2 weeks they have it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is like, the warranty shit's a nightmare. They don't warranty anything. It's garbage. It's bullshit. And like, you guys got lucky, but it's not because of my weight, because Amy is 105 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So
You just got a bum fucking mattress.
yeah, you have a 1 in 10 chance of getting fucked. So you spend $500 on a mattress, you get what you pay for, I guess. But for it to start to deteriorate after a year and then to completely, like, it's not. I would rather sleep on the couch. So fuck that mattress. Don't buy the Brentwood
All right.
Home Bamboo Gel 13.
Don't fuck on it. Fuck it, period.
Yeah,
All right.
don't even get it.
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
Well done.
sure. I feel like I phoned it in today. So that's
Really? You did all the talking. I just sat
Oh,
back
all
and
right.
chilled. Well, you two
I
dissected that movie
I love
down
that
to the
movie
T.
so much it wasn't even work.
Alien's going to be a good one. I could use a rewatch of that anyway.
Yeah.
Because that one's like, it's kind of a slow one, so it's a little hard to, like, you can't just put it on in the background. That's a sit down and watch movie, and I haven't
Yeah.
sat down and watched it in quite a while. So
Yeah.
that should be a good one to watch. Or Aliens.
No,
No, we
gotta start because Aliens is an action movie.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing.
Bill Pullman at his or Bill Paxton at his
You
fine.
fucked it up. God damn it.
I honestly fucked it up too. It wasn't like
Bill
me.
Pullman is still alive. He lives in the Hudson Valley.
Poor Bill Paxton. I was watching Hatfields and McCoys the other day, and he's in
Still
it.
haven't watched it.
So sad.
Yeah. Is it good?
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well done. But
All right.
and it's Kevin Costner, and you know how much I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
He's really good because he's playing a Kevin Costner role,
Yeah.
brooding, no emotions.
Just bad actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's perfect for him.
He's got a beard and a pipe, so it's able to mask all the stupid and his weak chin. All right, that's good.
I
stuff.
don't know if his chin is as weak as yours.
He's got a weak chin. Believe me. I've been told my
it's weaker than yours.
It's definitely weaker than mine. It's got one of those mushy like buttons in the thing. All right, that's enough.
All right, I want to go.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I really fucked that up.